and curl your tinted hair. Get up your lips and roll and curl your tinted hair. Get up your lips and roll and curl your tinted hair.
Крошка моя, я по тебе скучаю, я от тебя письма не получаю. Ты далеко и даже не скучала, но я вернусь, чтоб ты узнала, что я далеко, я по тебе скучаю, я от тебя письма не получаю. Ты далеко и даже не скучаешь, но я вернусь, и ты узнаешь, что я далеко от тебя. Ты обещала написать, обещала рассказать, как живешь, как тебе там сложно. Ты обещала долго ждать и страдать, и сгорать от любви, но это невозможно. Нет ни строчки от тебя, ни словечка от тебя. Зря поверил я твоим признаниям. Да, может это было зря, может это было зря. Ты скажи, что ж за наказание? Крошка моя, я по тебе скучаю, я от тебя письма не получаю. Ты далеко и даже не скучаешь, но я вернусь, и ты узнаешь, что я далеко от тебя. Что еще произошло? Сколько времени прошло? Ты не
All right, everyone, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Yeah, Banana Jones. I've seen that DSP has been having quite a few meltdowns lately. I debated on if I wanted to cover the meltdowns or these suggestion box segments. I decided on the suggestion box because you could do those. You could do the rants kind of out of context, so that's what we're going with right now. I do want to get to those. They look really funny. I want to see his rants about. He's been doing some Pignosis rants. I was seeing. My weekend was good. I did a lot of nothing. I caught up on some nothing I'd been meaning to catch up on. First, we're gonna watch this Gundam video that I promised the other day, and I completely forgot about it. I was in such a hurry to get that out of here, I forgot about it. So we're gonna watch this just to kind of let people file in. And I'm actually gonna do the clone counter for these suggestion box videos, mostly because I have a feeling that there's gonna be quite a few of them. I watched about 5 minutes of the very first one before I realized, oh, this is gold. I need to watch this on stream. I'm also not going to be restreaming him while he's playing Mario because I'm done with Mario and I've disengaged with the content. So it's really, if you think about it, it's Mario's fault. It's Nintendo's fault.
Young Ya. I don't know the dude's name. I've never had any problem with him, but after this video, he will definitely ban me. Young Yi suffers from what I like to call social media-itis. If you do well in social media, especially when like the bar is lower for you, it's nothing personal. But Young Ye's editing is probably something I could fart out in 10 minutes. But it's the truth.
What?
But he's doing great. Long as you do well doing what you do, it's all up, baby. But the problem with that is sometimes you start to huff your own farts too much. You
Oh,
just
yeah, that
start
definitely happens.
taking them in. You're like,
Make characteritis. Yeah, DSP's got that too.
I'm the greatest ever. I make thousands of dollars a day.
Good as Poochie, bad as Kiryu. The
Digital
judgmental curse takes its
cocaine.
first.
Can
Oh,
I say
man.
that? Probably not.
It does
but I'm
happen.
doing it anyway. I don't care anymore, YouTube. They're flagging me right now. Flag it. Flag
Man, we
it. I
hate
know you do it.
Nintendo. I
Do
agree,
it.
BR Joe.
Do
It's
it. I don't
Nintendo's
care.
fault.
Shoot me.
You have nothing to threaten me.
My day was
Can I say
honestly
that?
pretty
I
long
probably can't.
and tiresome, but I'm just glad to be here.
Young Yi announced that he was Kiryu in Yakuza, right? And I remember seeing it on Twitter. And I'm like, this is the most gross miscasting I've ever seen. Casting Young Yi to be Kiryu would be like casting me to play Captain America. And the suit would just hang off of my scrawny little ass as I ran down the street, huffing and puffing like a smoker with stage 5 cancer. That would be a good way to sum up Young Yee's Kiryu. It's something to behold, let me tell you. Let's play some clips.
Yeah, let's see it.
Justice, we're breaking the law, breaking the world together, throwing out all tenderness, we're breaking the rules.
Oh my lord.
No cause, no choice, no going back to how it was. No slowing down because woke.
No, that is rough. Okay. The only thing I can look to possibly forgive that is if you want to look at it from the context of it being karaoke. For example, what I find fun about karaoke isn't that anyone is up there singing well. I enjoy it when everyone's singing badly. So in that regard, I guess you could kind of make a little bit of forgiveness for it. It's like, oh, well, Kiryu's supposed to sound bad when he's singing. Okay, fine. Except that's a little too bad. That sounds more like he just got the script and this is take one. Good, print it, let's go. No, that's really rough. That's rougher than, hold on, we gotta go to my favorite example of bad voice acting in a video game. Let's see if I can find this. Well, I'll let Gundam keep talking while I'm looking for this.
Kill me, please. I want to die.
Oh, did you enjoy it? You probably didn't. Too bad. You're getting another one. That's for not subscribing to my Patreon. You get another one.
Oh no! Help! Just don't kill me! Spare my life! Please!
Look, we're big men around these parts. If you let us go, we can help you out. I mean it. How about it? Huh?
Okay, now let's hear a
What do
woman.
you say?
All right, now this next person is a woman.
Well done. Very impressive.
What? Oh, thank God. Take care of the samurai, okay?
Yeah, that's what his calling was. He was supposed to voice act in Way and the Samurai 2, which it's one of the few game reviews that I've committed to memory, and they said that the voice acting in Way of the Samurai 2 was simultaneously the most underacting while also the most overacting at the same time. It's true. It's probably my favorite thing about Way of the Samurai 2, besides that it's just a drastic improvement over the first game, is that every single line of dialogue is worse than the line of dialogue before it, but also not as bad. So you've just got this, it's like a This Is How You Don't Play the whole time. It's every moment is terrible. And it's godlike. That's what he should have. See, Young Yi, he got the wrong role, man. He should have been the voice actor in the remaster of Way of the Samurai 2. Oh, he could have voiced a playable character. That would have been perfect for the guy. Oh, that's a bummer.
Oh, not Baka me
I don't know that Young Yi is a good voice actor.
Not
These guys are something fun. Yeah, voice actor talent, no. It's just, it sounded like someone doing a bad rendition of a voice actor, not an actual voice actor.
Yeah. That's some good stuff. Give him another one,
Bring up
Stu.
DSP
Less
sauce
editing
and
for me.
for Game of the Year at the Video
Get another
Awards.
one.
I told you it's his Game of the
This
Year.
will teach you for not becoming a tier 3
I'm not going to watch that
sub-hero
tonight,
baby.
probably, but I do want to watch it. It is on my short list.
Young's Kiryu is the audio equivalent of watching XQC do sit-ups, my dudes.
Let's hear it.
Oh, shit, don't tell me. Kiryu-san, I don't have a bald patch, do I? I think the bullet ripped a chunk out. Does it look bad?
Can't say I see any difference. The tips are a bit burned. But your hair looks like it's seen more bullets than one.
What?
Dude, that's terrible, man. Holy shit.
Fluffy, I know he's I'll turn it off. All right, Jesus Christ, you
Yeah,
know.
casting director should make the world a better place. I agree, Lost 10.
You know it's bad when the dog doesn't like it. Now, for most people have been ripping on Young Yi becoming the voice of Kiryu. And I noticed it on Twitter because he just started blocking people like crazy. I watched Fritanga actually defend Young Yi or Young Yeah, and he turned around and blocked Frit.
That's what you get. That's some DSP energy right there. That's LTG energy. If you're not defending me properly, you're banned.
Damn. His ego is paper
I've
thin.
never
He
heard of
also
this dude
put out a
until
lot of
today,
copium
or
tweets
not
too.
today. You know, when I first saw him on Twitter, that's the first time I heard about him. KB.
This is a lot of them. There's a lot of tweets.
There will always be a loud minority who will claim I get cast because I'm a YouTuber.
I would tend to believe this is a gross miscasting, nothing personal.
FYI, I've been acting longer than I've been a YouTuber.
Yeah, I've been making music longer than I've been a YouTuber. Guess what I'm doing?
I earned.
Also, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. This whole post right here is just DSP energy. Let's DSP translate it. There'll always be a loud minority of toxic idiots who are jealous that I'm successful. And for your information, I've been doing this for 15 years, idiot. I earned this money. I deserve this money. I spent days perfecting my content, making good videos, and quality, robust commentary. If they only cared about, like, following numbers or, like, money, they would, like, hire Dr. Disrespect. That's a DSP-ism, dude. This is just DSP energy right here. Holy shit.
Kiryu.
Young as a pro.
You know, I can't even make fun of Young Yi for this.
I don't know. I just feel like they could have picked any better dude. Okay, you're telling me. Okay, let me put it this way. You're telling me Young Yi is the best Asian they could get? Say they wanted to do diversity, or they wanted to be close to, you know, ethnically accurate. Okay, fine. You're telling me that he's the best you could do? How long did you guys search? You know what? I bet it was. The casting director completely forgot about Kiryu. And he completely forgot, and it was 5 minutes until closing, you know, when he had to go send an email of who he suggests. And that's when he got on YouTube, like, Asian voice actor, YouTube popular. This guy, he's got the role. I'm sending it in. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, man, you didn't do any sort of, you didn't go to page 2 or the next video? Come on.
You know what, I'm ranting and raving. I earned 1 million subscribers. They won't let me have them.
Young Yi voices a gotcha game character named Arc.
If they only cared about follower numbers, they just cast Mr. Beast for everything.
That's because Mr. Beast didn't try. Like, if Mr. Beast came in and said he wanted to play Kiryu, you would have lost the spot. There's no doubt about it. They would have figured out a way to put Beast in there. I don't know. I also don't care.
I mean, I liked listening to JoJo in the original Japanese because it felt like it was more fun clown mode that way.
Or that not everyone would be on board. But I'm glad to see more people are warming up to my version. And I'm excited for people to see Kiryu's full journey. Wish I could show more. Did I mention he did a lot of videos about himself being Kiryu, which is really weird? You know, like Kiryu tries out to be Mario, or Kiryu voice actor reacts to the trailer.
Oh, I thought that was DSP for a second. That's kind of his posture a little bit. And I saw the black t-shirt and I thought, oh shit, it's time for a begathon. Oh, no, it's not DSP this time.
Why?
Personally, I would have done it, and it would have been like, yeah, I'm in it. And then that would have been it, especially if I did poorly. But then again, I'm not Young Yi. I've been fired from a lot of voice acting gigs because there was somebody that was trans on the development team, and they objected to me. And they were like, it's that guy. He's toxic and he's transphobic. And I'm like, how do you figure? How do you figure? Just because I said Dylan Mulvaney has ghastly big clown feet?
Continue to be thrilled, grateful, and honored to be part of this series and cast. As a fan, it was a feast. Blah, 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 blah. Also, let's go.
So here's a problem I have with this complaint right here. And this does happen from time to time. And I do feel sad for people who are like this, and you know, I feel empathy for them. Where they're a huge fan of the franchise, they're a huge fan of the series. They've adored this thing for years, and they feel so happy to be a part of it. Here's going with JoJo. Here's another reference to that. The Japanese voice actor for Jolene was a humongous JoJo nerd for years. JoJo is what helped her find her identity because she's half Egyptian. She's half Japanese, half Egyptian. And because JoJo had a long ass part that took place in Egypt, she felt a certain connection to that because she saw that not a lot of anime referenced Egypt except for maybe Yu-Gi-Oh, which, I mean, come on, Yu-Gi-Oh is godlike. But I can get that. I can get that you're excited for being this character that you've always dreamed to be. The thing that I feel like Young Yi has forgotten here, just from reading this, is that he forgets that other people are also fans. So because he's a fan of the franchise, his experience is more important than everyone else's fan experience. All those other fans who don't like him, they're not real fans. I'm a real fan. maybe I'm thinking too much into this, but that doesn't really seem right. I would think that if you were a huge fan of a franchise and you got a role, you would be very receptive to how other people perceived it. Another good example is, remember the Cowboy Bebop live action when that happened? You had, the whole thing was a shit show to begin with, but you had two different approaches to characters. And that was, you had, what was her name? Faye. The actor for Faye admitted that she knew nothing of the franchise. She knew nothing. And then she confidently said, I'm sure that people will still like my version. Which, when it turned out that no one really liked her version, she got angry at them. I was like, well, you don't respect the fans. You have to understand what the fans want. Do fans want unrealistic things? Absolutely. Do fans want things they don't actually want? Absolutely. But when fans say, hey man, your performance wasn't that stellar, and you blame the fans, that's on you, man. And then the other person in that, which I do feel bad for, is the person who played Ed was a humongous fan of Cowboy Bebop and was so stoked to be part of it. And put in her best effort. Now, granted, she was cringy as hell, but it was kind of like still kind of in character. It's just a little bit, because Ed's, you know Ed. But there, and when people were saying that she wasn't that good at Ed, she didn't respond hostily. She's like, well, I did my best. I really liked the character, and I was hoping that I could do a good job for everyone. And I'm kind of bummed out that people don't like it. That's the approach, And if you do that, you almost instantaneously have people change their mind. Because then they think, man, I'm sorry, I kind of shit on you and you were a fan too. My bad. And that's how I felt, because I was shitting on her when I saw the performance. And then I saw her response and I immediately felt bad. And then you've got Young Yi / Faye Valentine's response is, blame you.
It was okay. Also, let's go overwhelmingly positive review score for
she was in Armored Core 6.
Like, bro, of course it's got overwhelmingly positive. It's a good game, and most of us play in Japanese. If Young Ye didn't block people and be really weird online about this role, I would have never known he was in the game.
Not all
for real.
criticism is
Same
toxic.
Here.
You need to learn to take it to the chin and move on.
Exactly. I got a death threat a day ago. I took it to the chin and moved on. I was the bigger man. I didn't send back
Look at
my
all
own
these
threat.
toxic
It shows
individuals
you
supporting
tremendous
this.
growth as a YouTuber.
I agree. Never said all criticism is toxic, but there's a line between being critical and just being straight up asshole.
It's kind of like the live action cast. Main cast is Straw Hats for fans anime, especially Nami's actually.
Is
She's
that
a
why
huge
you're blocking
nerd.
people over the most civil, negative feedback? Careful there, you might get blocked.
Yeah, exactly. That's blockworthy. Get him out of here.
Who cares? I don't care. I don't give a shit anymore. That's the end of the video. I don't care.
Yeah, that's a good encapsulation. Truth be told, it's everything you need to know right here in that small encapsulation. That's cool. Yeah, I have not even talked to Youngie because I've got nothing really to say to him. I don't have the emotional commitment to Yakuza. I don't. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Rankins shit on him and got blocked. All right, so we're going to hear the first ever suggestion box segment, which I don't think that's entirely true. I think he's done this before where he's done suggestion box threads. Maybe he means first 2023 suggestion box ever. Which even then, I don't think that's true either, is it? Didn't he do one back in January where he said, people post your suggestions, and he ignored all of them? So, who cares? This is the first one starting now, obviously. Remember to leave a dislike? Oh yeah, because he's toxified. There you go. Take it back. Roll back netcode, man. I took back my dislike. What the hell? Now this one, hell yeah. This shit's godlike. Every line's terrible.
Soma is my key to becoming the biggest boss Japan has ever seen.
Okay.
Is my key to becoming
voicing Kira is my key to becoming the biggest boss Japan has ever seen. This guy's on top of this situation. Young Yi, you're doing God's work out there.
That's what I would like to do.
No,
is
Lynn,
jump
no
into the
Phil's
suggestion
fucking
box
video.
and
Look.
see what it is that you guys have
Look.
suggested over the last month and a half.
You guys don't have to watch it. And also, not a lot of people have the entire
Let's
event.
do it. Let's jump
So,
in. And by the way, we'll probably do this for a little
I
bit.
know, I'm giving him a view, but look how much it's been successful to him.
The entire show. The suggestion box is full of stuff. We can use this all month. Like we do this all the time on the podcast this month. Okay. So.
Imagine Phil taking that many private reacts. Oh, for
all right,
Young
ready?
Yi?
So we're gonna start right at the beginning.
It's a Gundam. Yeah, never gonna happen.
Play through Final Fantasy 7
You guys are gonna have to share.
You said there's a possibility we give Final Fantasy 8 another chance. I love your Final Fantasy playthroughs. I hope you'll do that eventually, and also play Final Fantasy 12 because you never played it on stream. Yeah, there's no response there. Yeah, one day I'd like to play 8. One day I'd like to play 12 when time permits. Thanks.
Yeah, that's.
Now that you have a mini gaming PC, I hope we'll have PC exclusives in rotation. For example, there's a 90s point-and-click adventure game that was called Toonstruck. It starred Christopher Lloyd as a cartoonist trapped in the world of his art, kind of like Comic Zone on Genesis. Tim Curry voices the animated villain of the story. Okay, the game sounds familiar, but I've certainly never played it.
So this is already a waste of time. Suggesting specific games to DSP in this kind of regard is not really helpful. Mostly because DSP is going to give the same answer. Yeah, I want to play it, but I can't play it. So that is stupid. You need to suggest something more like structure-wise, but whatever. DSP will shut it all down for me. I don't need it.
I do have a mini
Help him with
PC.
that.
It seemed to work well when
How's it going, Irie?
Trigger,
Keep in mind, he asked for game suggestions in the thread. Yeah, exactly, but he's going to just dismiss them all.
Can't play that right now.
You know, it kind of sucks because that was going to be like a good opportunity to actually test it and see, and we didn't get a chance to do anything, right? So
exactly, Roach Bay. We got to mop him up. That's why I'm not doing the restream
suggestions,
tonight.
I get it. Okay, here's a game suggestion. Okay, sure, I guess. Like, I don't know how to respond to it. Obviously, we can't do it now. It's gonna be.
But you asked for it exactly as you said. So I guess I'll count that as the first new clone, because this guy doesn't remember that.
Can we get a tips goal to do a 70s style half-open button-up shirt with Vaseline on your chest for $125?
Okay.
I do that all the time already.
Very funny. Continue.
Play Baldur's Gate 3 when you're done with Starfield. I've already had 5 zillion.
It is like Wreck. I like it.
Say that I should play Baldur's Gate 3. Listen, my apprehensions with Baldur's Gate 3 remain exactly the same as the first day when someone said I should play it. We already played Divinity Original Sin 2, and it didn't work.
If you could put a TV on payment plan, why not a gaming
It's not
PC?
identical, but it's the same style of game. It's an RPG with insane amounts of narrative.
Hold on, something about you not being a mature adult. Fill in the blanks. But yeah, you're right. There's no sense not to. Except for you shouldn't do that ever, but he would do it.
Playthrough, all right. I look at it and I'm like, you can tell this is the kind of game made for a very dedicated gamer who's going to sit around playing that game nearly nonstop for a month on end, immersing themselves in the world. This game, I don't know how that game would work with my schedule. I'm a variety streamer. I don't just play one game constantly. I play.
Also, wouldn't it be kind of a cool thing to have that? Okay, it wouldn't be cool, but think about it this way, DSP. Maybe it's a form of long-term. No, we're already losing DSP. Long-term, I have no idea what that means. You could do some sort of long-term playthrough where you could play it maybe twice a week for the next 2 years. Why not? Why not? Why not? What's so wrong with that? It's almost like a serial, you know? We got to catch up on the Baldur's Gate 3 story. And then in a year and a half, it's finally done. You know, you've rewarded people who stayed committed for that. It's like a DSP soap opera, DSP. Why wouldn't you be on board with that? Nope, because I don't like it. All right, there you go. That's the answer.
3-4 games. I have multiplayer games in the mix. I juggle.
Why does Logic Game Company should block him from playing the game because he doesn't give the... I agree, Drew. It's toxic.
60 hours into the game, and even people who love the game told me to stop playing it. That it was so boring at that point.
Who said this?
Enough time to dedicate to people. There's a little something for everyone. With Divinity Original Sin 2, we played 60 hours into the game, and even people who love the game told me to stop playing it. That it was so boring at that point.
And he doesn't get the criticism there. People who were fans of this game told me to stop playing because it was boring. Now, granted, he has to twist it up there a little bit. It was boring, i.e. the game. Not my videos. No, my videos were great. But the game was boring. No, DSP, that happens all the time. I watch you play a game I enjoy and I get frustrated and I wish you would just turn it off. Because it's boring. Bill, what does the phrase long-term mean?
I wasn't having enough time.
It's like a nonsense word.
So that is my apprehension with Baldur's Gate 3. And I think
Assault Topper. Yeah, nice.
Can I be honest? Let me be honest with everybody.
Okay,
here,
please.
With my opinion here.
Okay.
Here's what I think the problem is. All right?
That's the problem.
When you are a variety streamer, everyone expects you to play every good game. Okay?
That's not true. That's not true.
That's the truth.
That's not true.
It seems like everyone expects you to play every good game.
Everyone wishes you would play every game. Everyone wishes you could. But that's the thing. DSP, I think he really thinks people are just crazy and stupid at all times. No, there's tons of games I wish DSP would play. There's tons of games I wish Corona would play. Am I going to get those games? No. Actually, will only get maybe 1 out of every 50 games that I want to see this dude get played. But DSP thinks that people in his comments are screaming, Phil, if you don't play Baldur's Gate 3, I'm going to donate money to someone else. No one's saying this, DSP.
I cannot play every good game. It's not possible. There's too many formats of games. There's too many ways and avenues to play a game.
Yeah, I remember him getting really angry about Irie, and I remember the chat
right?
getting really mad about Divinity 2. And I remember the chat not really saying the things that he was saying.
Right? Like, I played Lies of P, and I played it not expecting much. It was insanely outstanding, right?
Like a long-term fund? Like you give me money over a long term? Sounds good to me.
You see? I'm not saying I'm not playing it ever. I'm saying that's why I'm not playing it now. If I hadn't played Lies of P and skipped it, then maybe I would have been more in line and say, okay, let's do Lords of the Fallen because I didn't really do the Soulsborne style game with Lies of P. Do you see?
Why do you have to? Whatever.
That's basically the gist of it here, right?
And you guys suggest games to me. I'll be real. I probably won't play a lot of them because of time constraints.
I'm just going to time you out, and if you continue to talk nonsense, I'm just going to make sure that you don't talk in the chat ever again.
Because you all know how that works. You're all reasonable people. You understand how it works. I don't need to talk down to you like you're children.
Yeah, like, I can't play every game. And the thing with Baldur's Gate 3, as everyone knows, it's an insanely time-consuming, really large time investment needed game. And that's fine. Again, I respect the game. People who played it and enjoyed it, good for you.
He said he wasn't going to play Lords of the Fallen, by the way. He doesn't know what he wants with Lords of the Fallen.
Situation.
I think he's going to try memory hole people with that. Dudes, remember I played it? But it got copyright struck. I had to take down all the videos. But I definitely played it.
I played 20 hours into an 80-hour game, and people, and now, well, aren't you going to keep playing it? Well, where's everyone? People are already done with this game, you know? And it's not representative of the game. It's the style of game, the kind of content that I do.
Oh, it's not DSP's fault. Come on, you guys thought it was my fault for a second. That's not my fault.
Spider-Man 2, Mario Wonder, and yeah, the attendance, the engagement.
Oh, I forgot to update the clone counter because that's not what happened during his Baldur's Gate playthrough.
Games back in the day when I started on YouTube, 10,
Divinity
years ago,
playthrough.
on average, were 10, 15 hours long tops. Tops. Now most games are 20, 30, 40 hours long. That's very hard to get an audience to engage that long. And now you're expecting me to play an 80+
It's not hard to do if you're entertaining. It's really not. Let me do a quick moment here. Just give me a second. You can look at DSP's confused snort face for a second. Let's see. What was one of their longer playthroughs? Oh, Super Best Friends. What was it? Dark Souls 1. That was a long ass playthrough. And let's look at this playlist here real quick, just to kind of show you. Look at all those goddamn views. Look at those views. That's DSP would murder any 3 people to get views like this. And that is, I think we're already passing up 20 hours right here. Look at this shit. 76 parts. You can't see it because it's kind of clipped off. It is hard to do this. I guess in a way DSP is right. It is hard to do this because you have to be talented. And DSP, you can accuse him of many things, but you can't accuse this dude of having talent. What the hell's wrong with you?
Hour RPG while I'm juggling other projects as well because I
play games just watch this how you don't play instead. Exactly. That's far more interesting. Yeah, I've watched it too, Steve Guy. I think I've been through twice on it.
Okay? I'm not saying I'm never playing Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm just never going to play it.
I literally don't know how on earth I would play Baldur's Gate.
Exactly, BR Joe. He was saying also the other day that 20 hours is the perfect length.
So if you have a track record and you've seen in history that this kind of stuff doesn't work, then why would you keep trying?
Wait,
right?
Hold on a second.
A lot of you like Baldur's Gate 3. You play Baldur's Gate 3. Okay? I'm not saying I'm never playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay, hold on. I missed this here.
I literally don't know how on earth I would play Baldur's Gate 3 with how long it is and the kind of content I put out. We've tried this with other games. It doesn't work. So if you have a track record and you've seen in history that this kind of stuff doesn't work, then why would you keep trying?
No, notice again how he frames it. He frames it as though it's the content's fault. It's the game's fault. I've played these games multiple times and have failed to be entertaining or interesting. Why would you guys keep suggesting this? Okay, when you frame it like that, yeah, you're right. We shouldn't suggest anything like that to you, DSP. You can't handle it. You can't handle anything interesting. You can't do shit. I like this smug face here. Look at this. These stupid-ass viewers suggesting shit knowing I'm going to say no to everything. What a bunch of fools.
Right? I get it. A lot of you like Baldur's Gate 3, and you like seeing me play the best games of the year. Gotcha. But it doesn't fit my format. It doesn't fit the content I play. So how could I play it, and why would I
Let's give up. Right, BRJ.
Why would I waste everyone's time, including mine?
There's
no
also
way that I could do it right now anyway. But, maybe...
Okay, I'm already pausing this a lot. There's also something, and he's going to elaborate on this later on, but this is already the beginning of how his argument is flawed. He doesn't have to play the game through to the end. I know that he's going to get people yelling at him, oh, why did you drop the game early? Why did you drop that? But if you've gotten your $60 back and you're not having fun on the, 15th hour, you can stop playing and say, hey guys, I really enjoyed it, but I kind of want to play some other stuff right now. It's okay. Who are you going to anger? A couple of your fans? You hate them.
long term, but I just don't see it happening, being honest. It's not a casualized RPG by any means. So there you go. All
Didn't
right,
even try to
on.
edit and complain that
Have you
people...
ever thought of doing something
Yeah.
akin to a sub Saturday like other streamers where you
I
basically
don't understand his
play
aversion to
inexpensive
editing,
games,
except that
remember
he's
picking
just
Switch
super
games every
lazy.
30 minutes to an hour to a
I
new
find
game.
editing fun and
I
relaxing.
apologize if this has been asked before, and I apologize if you've done it and tried this before. Members pick and you switch games every 30 minutes to an hour to a new game. I apologize if this has been asked before, and I apologize if you've done it and tried this before. It didn't stick. I'm unaware since I'm kind of new here, and I love and enjoy all of your content that I do. And again, I'm sorry if I'm ignorant. Much love to you and your family. I don't really understand.
Why did he speedrun that? That was very rude.
I don't really understand the concept of this. All right.
He
So
could
if you
definitely
guys
Baldur's
can
Gate 3,
explain
except
to me in
he
the chat,
wouldn't,
the
'cause
chat right
yeah,
here in front of me.
he would hate it because
What
he
is
couldn't be
this
handheld.
whole Sub Saturday, sub Sunday.
This is the one I liked.
What
This is when I
premise of
stopped.
this? Because to me, when I hear that sub Saturday, sub Sunday, it sounds like so we're doing a special stream where we're trying to get people to subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
But when you say sub, you're probably talking Twitch. You're
Oh my God, it doesn't matter.
Subscriber.
People
So
know
maybe
what it
it'd be
means.
Like Member Mondays or something like that, right? But I just don't understand.
Yeah, banana shows. Even though the person wasn't even being negative.
Like this person is saying, the premise is you or your members pick inexpensive indie Steam games and you switch games every 30 minutes. Like, huh?
What's confusing about that? Let's type it out, or write it out. Play indie games, switch every couple of minutes. Where did I lose you, DSP? Where was the confusion at? What? That's one sentence. I'm already lost, dude. How is this dude valedictorian, but this sentence completely bamboozles him?
So I'm being told
Exactly.
this is a stream only available to
you used the rhetoric wrong.
So it would
You're
be members
banned.
only stream here, Member Monday only stream on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Seems good to me. We're computing right now. How can I get away with this?
Again, I gotta wonder, like, well, how would this work? Right?
That's on you to figure that shit out,
If someone
DSP.
can explain to me the premise of how the event works and why you think it would work, I would consider it. But it sounds to me like all you're saying is set up a stream that's members only.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the benefit of that?
Right? Oh my God. Yeah, right here is where I stopped, because right here I was already frustrated and said, okay, I need to watch this on stream. What is the benefit of that? During this whole segment, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of DSP demonstrating that he just does not understand that other people exist. The point of the Member Monday, or whatever you want to call it, DSP, is to reward people for being members. DSP already lost, flew over his head. Reward people? Huh? Look, man, you're not making any sense. Reward people? That shit's stupid. I'm not rewarding a damn person. And DSP's, I can call his next line, because he's gone into this before. He's going to say there's ways trolls would mess with, all this and that. DSP is so terrified of trolling and toxic activity that he can't even think to reward you. He can't even be bothered to do it anyway, because say you had 10 people that you were going to play a game with because, you know, they were members or whatever. This scenario, you play with these 10 people, 9 of them are trolls and hate your guts, DSP. But one of them was a fan. You made one fan's day. Isn't that cool? Isn't that a good thing? DSP doesn't see that as acceptable. Dude, I got bothered by 9 people. So this other person, I don't care if they exist or not. I don't care if they get anything from this. Why? Why do you not care about people, DSP? You saw this with Jade on Street Fighter 6. Just play with Jade. Instead, you're playing with, you know, Lukes that are kicking the shit out of you and getting mad. But you could have made somebody's day instead. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't make someone's day.
And the other thing you're saying is have members pick, or you pick a bunch of indie games and you play them for 30 minutes at a pop.
Exactly.
So
Like,
what you wanna do
these
is
are
buy,
good
like,
membership
5-6
goals.
games,
The fact that I'm
and for 3
ignoring
hours
you
every
all.
30 minutes I play a different indie game. Okay, what's the benefit of that? I'm at a loss.
Okay, besides that one, besides where they did this thing long time ago where they would show episodes of different pilot episodes for shows. And whichever show got a lot of attention, they just went ahead and said, okay, you got a full series. It was a pretty cool technique because you were able to gauge interest. Oh, a lot of people really enjoyed the show. Let's turn that into a full show. DSP, his business school didn't teach him this. They didn't teach him maybe play a bunch of indie games. Oh, this one they really like. They really enjoy. Hey, how about we do a full playthrough? Would you guys like that? No, there's no benefit. There's not any. My bank account doesn't have any extra zeros on the right side of the equation, so no benefit.
I am. I'm kind of like scratching my head.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I don't get it.
Yeah, Nielsen ratings. Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't it encourage memberships? Would it?
Yeah, would it?
Encourage memberships because
You're the business major.
Games he's never going to touch ever again on a stream today, and only members can see it. Would that make you become a member? You tell.
Again, you're just giving people what they want. What is so wrong with that? I don't get. What is this? I need to find this business school, this business degree that he got. Don't reward people. Don't. Customer appreciation, get that out of your system. In fact, the customer needs to appreciate you by donating more. You made people's day. Like, hey, what if I really like this game, FTL? I just want to see DSP playing 30 minutes of it. Hey, you made my day, DSP. I'm glad I became a member. DSP sitting there saying, why the fuck did I do this? Why did I make someone's day better? I wish he would just say that. Why would I try and make people happy? What? You guys need to make me happy.
Tell me. That's what I say. I don't get the concept. I don't understand. You know me. I don't do.
Yeah, no kidding, like Greg. I'm feeling bad already for even listening to this.
I don't do that.
I'm just getting shamed.
I've never
He would
had
do something easy like Mario Kart 8 with members.
That,
yeah.
So I don't know.
And what if they enjoyed
what the
it?
benefit would be.
I don't know what the benefit would be of making people happy. I don't understand it. Why would I do that? That's
It
stupid.
works for other streamers, but it wouldn't work for Phil. Why not? First of all, why does this work for other streamers, and why wouldn't it work for me?
I'll tell you why, DSP. That's a very easy question. It would work with other streamers because even if they don't care about their viewers, they pretend to and give them the end result of what caring would look like. So maybe PewDiePie doesn't give a shit about his viewers, but him playing a game with them is enough for them. It doesn't matter if you actually like them or not. And that's exactly why it wouldn't work with DSP. DSP's too honest. He really doesn't give a shit about any of his viewers, and he's going to let you know.
People will just leave if you paywall it.
Farfield University. I would like to attend.
Moist Critical does a bad games night once a week where he tries to find and play the worst games possible.
How many actual members does he have? Well, according to this video, 418, but that's dropped.
For the day. It doesn't have to be many games.
Or has it? It doesn't matter. Nothing, basically.
Okay,
I think so,
before
Banana
we go
Jones.
Further, I would just like to say something, all right?
Or maybe it was Dave, I don't know.
Let me say something before we continue, because I am going to consider the suggestion, all right? I am not a big streamer, and people have to stop having that mentality in their heads that Darkside Phil is a big streamer. At most,
yeah, I heard about that, like, Racky. That's
most,
cool.
I get a few hundred viewers a video. At most, I'll get more than that, like 1,000 a video, right? Maybe a couple thousand if it's a big playthrough. It's the first few parts, okay? The reason, the concept you're describing, all right, is something that would work for someone who's huge.
No,
people are clamoring for their attention.
Something that I learned a long time ago as an idiot who made bad decisions all on my own is that when you're in a state of desperation, if you're in a state where you need help, you listen to the help. And it's even more vital that you listen to the help. If you tell a person how to extract their foot from a bear trap and they don't have a foot in the bear trap, they kind of have some wiggle room when it comes to listening to you. However, if your foot is in a bear trap and I give you advice, you probably should listen. And you should probably take it very seriously. DSP, floundering in every single category. Listening to advice saying, that wouldn't work for me. I don't want to do that. No, DSP, because you're in a desperate situation, it's even more important that you do this. It's even more important that you do these things that are being recommended. Because people are giving you advice as to what to do to succeed. You are being handheld, DSP. Think of it like a video game guide. They're telling you what to do. So do it. So do it.
Attention. They absolutely would love.
I can't
to
play
see
cheap
that
indie games. I'm a
play
small streamer.
something
Yeah,
they
I
want.
can't do something affordable.
To
That's
have
stupid.
Moist Critical or Maximilian Dude or one of these big streamers and content creators play a game that you want is like, oh my god.
Darkside Phil is not a big streamer because he fell off. He used to be big, but fucked up and fell from grace. Right. That's how that works.
On a stream. That doesn't happen with me. I'm a small guy. I'm a small-time guy.
So isn't it even more important that you do it? If you have 5 fans, it actually becomes easier for you, DSP. It's completely the opposite, DSP. God damn, you're stupid. If you have 1 million fans and you've got 1 million people all asking for different things, you are bound to disappoint more of them by sheer math of the situation. If you, DSP, have 1,000 people asking you for what to do, chances are you're going to make less people unhappy. Or better yet, people are just going to be happy to see that you're willing to do stuff for them. It's even easier for you. And even more essential for you. I'm sorry, I'm getting annoyed because I didn't go to business school and know this shit. How is it so hard to understand?
All right? We don't get thousands of people showing up to my streams that are going to become members overnight because I did a members-only stream.
Yeah, exactly, Richard. They just need to pay up and stop asking for shit. That's really their problem.
Okay? For them, oh my god, the day that Moist Critical graced us and played this indie game.
And he spews this sort of pixelating for now. Yeah, I'm really excited.
People might buy the indie game because Moist Critical played it.
No one's interested in that.
Darkside Phil is a small-time guy. No one cares if Darkside Phil plays an indie game. No one.
Except that you have people in his chat all the time asking for it. And furthermore, how do you know what people want? Maybe, again, I'm going back to someone more successful because I use that to compare to DSP. And that is, again, the Best Friends. Best Friends played a shit ton of games that I wasn't interested in at all. But because they had a certain magnetism and energy and fun, I wanted to buy the game. And I didn't even know I wanted the game until I saw them play it. DSP, well, he can't do it, but he could do that. You know, play a game so well enough that it does make people want to get it. But he just assumes that's not a possibility. That can't happen. Okay. I'll get to that in a minute, CL. I have a hypothesis why this happened. This entire suggestion box thing.
I know. No, the game developer won't. I won't.
In indie news? Yeah. It's a low pixel count.
Independent e-celebrity. Like these.
Exactly, Richard. They've been asking for a lot of those games.
Compare me to people who are 10, 20, 50.
No one compared you, DSP. That was you.
That's a new clone. Why doesn't it work for you? Because I'm not them. I'm a small-time little guy. The fact that you act like I'm so
okay, to clarify, no one told him that he needed to be like these people. And the first person who brought it up didn't say that. It was only a secondary person, but DSP is kind of assuming it was everyone. Not everyone said it.
Bringing in insane amounts of money and attention and everything that I do is ridiculous.
Yeah, I need to see that, Banana Jones.
That a members-only stream, is going to ever work, honestly.
Why not?
Excuse me. That's always something that I've stayed away from all these years. I told you guys I don't like paywalling my content. I wanted that all my content is available to everyone at all times. Now, if you go the extra mile and you support, maybe you'll have the ability to direct some of the content. Maybe you'll be...
Okay, never mind. So that is clone counter. Contradiction mid-sentence. Nice. And also, DSP, you already paywall content. You already do. You already do. And furthermore, it's... I'm not going to find the clip, but there's a clip from Duralis and Associates when they were doing the Kickstarter campaign. And there's a lot of funny moments in that video, but one part that keeps coming up is they essentially say, oh, so you want us to bribe and threaten the fans? And someone corrects them and says, no, you're not paywalling people. You're incentivizing them. You're telling them that their money has something that they can get. DSP doesn't understand that concept. I'm barricading you with this dollar amount. No, you're rewarding them for the money they spend. That's why DSP doesn't understand that. He despite being a very transactional person, he doesn't conceptualize of the idea that he could reward others. That's silly. No, that's dumb, sir.
Suggesting advertisement for the apocalypse, right? Or games for a marathon or things like that. Shows from
your suggestion that dense make or detractors make don't guarantee more support. That's the health bill, isn't?
Yeah,
it doesn't guarantee anything, but
you see,
try.
I've always been anti-paywall.
That's not true.
When it comes to watching my content, you see.
I won't count that as a new clone, but that's not entirely true.
In addition to that, like I said, do you really think if I did a day, like let's say I did Member Mondays, and this daytime stream on Monday was members only, right? And the members voted, nominated and voted, and I played 6 indie games. First of all, each indie game, let's say each indie game costs $5. Yeah. So I just dropped $30+ plus tax for today's stream. So immediately I've negated half my profits for the stream because I'm not Moist Critical. Moist Critical will...
This dude. Okay. Again, I didn't go to business school. I didn't go. How many new businesses pop up? How many new businesses pop up? All just starting out. I'm not established like Walmart or McDonald's. How many new businesses pop up and start offering coupons? Start offering deals. Hey, buy one, get one free. Hey, if you recommend this, you get $3 off. A lot of businesses operate at a loss for a long time because that's how you build customer bases. That's how you reward people. That's how you encourage people to be part of your thing. And then you ratchet up the price later. Then you're like the big businesses. But DSP, no. Look at his Call of Duty purchase. He bought Call of Duty for what, $50? Because he got something like $20 off or something like that. So he could have bought, using his own example, he could have bought 10 indie games. And that's 10 games that had the potential to draw in different viewers, which is what I thought a variety streamer was about. I thought that's what the whole gimmick was. Oh, you don't like racing games? Come back when I'm playing something that you like. Oh, you don't like shooters? Come back when I'm playing something else you like. DSP presented with the option to make money, cast a wider net with new content. No, I don't want to do that. That confuses and angers me.
Will make thousands of dollars on his Member Monday stream. I will make probably $50. So I've already negated.
Hey, that's not paywalling, B.
I bought 6 games
Ban yourself.
for this one stream that I will never play the games ever again. Then I play the 6 games. No one will care
Reward
about
is to sit there and
right?
watch and
Maybe
tipping
one,
him.
if I get
Yeah,
one
that's your
people
reward.
ever
Give
want
me
to
more
see
money.
again.
And
And
he
no one will
berates
watch
you.
the videos of them because who's heard of these fucking nobody games, right? They don't get any exposure because I played them. No one gives a shit about Dark Side Phil playing indie games in 2023. Do you see the point I'm making? Okay?
No, I don't actually.
That is the point I'm making here. All right?
And Tevin did the same thing. Tevin would play these just complete Z-tier indie bullshit shovelware games on his stream sometimes. And he made them fun. And there was no commitment to him. DSP is angered by the idea of being committed to games, like with Baldur's Gate 3. He doesn't want to be committed to this multi-month playthrough. Okay, DSP, here's an option. Play this game briefly. No. And it's cheaper. No. And you're not committed to playing it for the whole time. No. What do you want then? What do you want, DSP? And it's not going to make the game sell better. Well, good, DSP. It's good that the game doesn't sell better because then they've got more money for you, DSP. Just admit you don't want to do it.
You're talking someone who gets 300 views versus someone who gets
Profit margin for
20,000
streaming,
views.
even at the low end, could be among the best in the
The
world.
scale is not there.
F for gross is pure profit.
That's why I don't do
and
that
you get
stuff.
tips.
And that's why people
with
say,
no
why don't you
taxes
do
a lot of
this,
times.
This project that Max does all the time. Why don't you do what Moist Critical does? Why don't you do what Angry Joe does? Why don't you do what this other giant person?
Why don't you do these successful techniques?
The scale's
No.
not there. That's why. If I were a ginormous, in-demand person, I could do all these specialty.
So how does that work then? How do you become ginormous? Did PewDiePie start off with millions of subscribers? He just logged into the website first time and boom, million subscribers, dude. This is yours because you're lucky and you're rich. Here you go. Here's a bunch of subscribers. Big Joe or whatever his name is, Angry Joe. He got online, made his account. Here's millions of subscribers. DSP didn't have that. He didn't have that. He had to work hard for his subscribers. Okay. All right. Let's pretend that's true. Work more? No, I'm already losing him.
Events to rake in money. Oh, by the way, isn't it funny that if I did a members only stream, all I would get is criticism that it's for greed. But these big guys do it literally all the time to bring in memberships and they don't get criticized. That's okay, right? That's okay.
Who doesn't criticize them?
They could paywall their content all day. That's perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if Darkside Phil does it, he's the devil, right?
No, DSP, the reason why we give you crap for paywalling is because you say you're not going to paywall, and then you paywall something else, and then you paywall another thing, and then you start screaming at people. People yell at you for this because you're a hypocrite and a shithead. If you just say, hey man, I'm doing this to incentivize people. I'm rewarding. I'm giving back to people who spend money on me. I don't think a lot of people would have a problem with that if you contextualized it like that. But DSP, if Howard didn't say it clear enough, has a real problem with damage control. He doesn't know how to actually get people on board with things, or better yet, just to convince people that he's doing the right thing in the long term. He can't tell detractors, hey, this is actually going to work out. This is actually a good thing that I'm doing. He can't. Even though he could do certain things to say, hey, I'm doing this to reward my fans. Can't do it. Right? It's too difficult for him. He doesn't have the skill set to do that.
So
Dave is like trying to scheme at the boys to shake the quarters out of his chat. Exactly.
I can't do the things that other people do.
You mean Eddie, BR Joe? Ed was just content to read comic books.
That people do stuff like this to me, and they try to say, "Oh, you see, well, Phil just doesn't want to do what other people do."
Exactly, Roach Bait.
He doesn't want. No, it's because I can't. I'm a small time guy.
New customers bring information and they talk to people.
And all these nut jobs are obsessed with me, and because of that, a lot of people know who I am. Does not mean that I get a positive result of that.
Maybe you should try and be
I don't
positive.
Get 10,000 views on every stream I do, where I can do Member Mondays, and it makes me a lot of money. It doesn't work.
Okay.
So that's why I can't do that kind of stuff. I didn't even understand the concept, because to me, for someone of my stature and my size, what you described.
Yeah, that's disturbing, Lord DSP.
That's not even a consideration.
Why is Ed sitting in a box?
Because it would be shooting myself in the foot. It would basically be isolating a ton of my audience who aren't members, who can't watch my content now, and playing games no one's asking for.
But isn't that a successful marketing approach? Remember that episode of South Park where Cartman buys the whole amusement park and keeps people out? And then people get curious about it and say, hey, I would like to pay to enter this place. It looks pretty prestigious, you know? And then they start spending more money on it, much to, you know, Cartman's chagrin, of course. But DSP, that's kind of how a lot of businesses work, right? Isn't that the case? You know, you say, hey, if you guys really want this cool thing, you'll pay up a little bit more. Which, DSP, they're already paying you. They're already paying you. People are already giving you money. All they're suggesting is that maybe you do something for them? No. No, that is nonsense.
Right? And then dropping my profits for the day into games I'll never play again, and that's it. I made no pay today because I bought a bunch of games.
But you built a customer base.
Moist Critical.
Okay.
To buy 6 or 10 games for a fucking stream, it's nothing. He farted those games out. He makes thousands of dollars a day. You understand? I don't make thousands of dollars a day. Got it?
Again, I didn't go to business school, so I don't know how this works, but I'm pretty sure PR is just as essential as profits. Building a good reputation is just as good as profits. Because how else do you have these companies like Activision or Blizzard or all these other companies that have royally pissed off their customers? Do you think any one of them wouldn't pay a cold million right now just to have half those people not be negative towards them anymore? Absolutely they would. You have to build happiness at the same time you're building your wallet. You have to, that's 2 factors of your business. But DSP doesn't see it that way. You should just be happy giving me money. No. Would you be happy with that, DSP? Fuck no, you wouldn't be. If Nintendo tweeted, we don't need to provide good content for your dollar. You just need to give us money. DSP would want all of them lined up and shot. He would say they disrespected gamers and they hated people. That's what you're doing, dude. That's what you're doing. You're telling them, how dare you ask shit of me for your money? Just give me the money.
Okay, I hope that makes sense.
Thank you for the snort.
Okay. Continuing on. Find a nice...
Exactly, Richard. Nobody renews because there's nothing to get from it.
Profitable for you and help a small company. That's not how it works. In order to do that, I would have to finance all the merch up front. Meaning I would have to have investment capital.
That's not true, DSP. That's not true.
To produce the merch with the small business.
I don't know if that's a new clone, but it's definitely a lie. I'm going to count it as a new clone. DSP is just too lazy. That's not true.
Right? There's two business models when it comes to merch, all right? And I feel like I should explain these because I think a lot of people...
How does any of this matter? Phil streams because he's playing games and because it makes his fans happy. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He doesn't need money. He should just enjoy the thrill of it, right? This dude makes me so frustrated, man. Because, again, I don't even have a business degree, and I know this shit. So what the hell is your excuse, DSP? What the hell is your excuse? You have the business degree. You've got the piece of paper that says you're competent in business. And you don't know shit. Thanks, Osiris. Yeah, this is the snort slime. This is the inside of DSP's throat. Alright, let's read some more stupid shit from idiots.
It's disgusting, and I gotta put up with it. Alright, there's 2 different ways when it comes to merchandise and content creation like I do. Either you find a third-party business that is an on-demand business.
On-demand?
Okay? What that means is...
What is an on-demand business?
Incur all the production costs.
I need you to be a business right now.
Upload designs, for example. Like I would upload a logo.
Not later, now.
I would upload a design. And people would then be able to apply that design to a variety of merch. T-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, mugs, different color coordinations and things like that.
He's not a fat guy.
Business themselves,
these are muscular moves.
They make the merch on demand per order.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
The reason they're able to do that is because they are huge, they bring in tons of business, and they have the means to do it. They probably have the printing presses, the software, whatever it needs to do this on the fly, and they can do it on demand per order. All right? In that model, there is no investment or risk from the content creator themselves. I would invest no money into
Okay,
it.
so what's the
It's just
problem?
You guys go to the
Oh,
site,
because you say
order merch,
racist,
I
stupid
make
shit,
a couple
huh?
bucks off each sale. They make a bunch of money off each sale.
Yeah, exactly,
and you
J and
get
J.
merch.
I want
Okay?
the business
That's
to
what
be
I
kind
always
of on
did back in the day.
standby. Is that
First
okay?
it was Cafe Press, and then it was Teespring. That's what I did with those businesses.
Yeah, that's how I
Granted,
published my
cost
book,
of
by the
they
way.
incurred the cost.
I use an
Okay?
on-demand
The
business,
other model
as
that you're
DSP
thinking
describes it.
of is more of the small business model, where I would have to invest a ton of my own money.
That's not true.
To buy and produce shirts on mass.
It's
whether it's shirts, sweatshirts, whatever it would be.
It's not that expensive, DSP. It's not. It's not. And you know how I know it's not that expensive? Because at my job, they did this really, really dumb thing. But it's okay. I wasn't in the decision-making process, so it's not like it hurt me at all. Where the kids made t-shirts. And they sold them. They spent, and I saw the expense report for it because, you know, I had to suggest it and whatnot and do the numbers on some of it. And it was maybe $250 for everything. Maybe. And even then, it was easier because we knew people who had different pieces of equipment and we could just borrow them for a little bit. And DSP, if he had any sort of network, he might have been able to do the same. Say I've got a friend. Hey, man, do you have someone... Do you or someone you know has a shirt pressing machine? They can ask their friends, oh yeah, my buddy, he's got it. DSP doesn't have that network system. So screwed yourself. Good job, DSP. But $250 for someone who spends grand in mobile games is nothing. It's nothing. He can't do it. I just can't. I can't spend $1 on you guys. You aren't fucking worth it. You're not important enough for me to spend $250. But I am more than happy to buy, you know, $8,000 worth of pulls on a mobile game.
And then once I've already pre-purchased them, they are stored somewhere.
Just-in-time business
usually
where
an
orders are
offsite
taken.
warehouse.
Yes,
And then
exactly.
people can order them on
I have that
demand,
for
and they are
my book
shipped
published.
from that warehouse directly to them, and that's how I make my money on the back end. But that requires me.
He
to
could literally
invest the
make things
money
himself.
first.
Yeah, I
I've
think
done
people would
that
pay
before,
for a
too. I
DSP
did
made
that
item. It'd
over
be
a
really
decade
shitty.
ago.
There's burn marks all
Making
over it and
t-shirts
everything.
For Project 7, okay, I invested a ton of money into buying all those t-shirts.
It's
and
$50
producing
from
them in the
how
hopes
I
that we would
remember
sell
it,
them at
but whatever.
conventions and then online. Okay.
There's a good
Now,
start. Thank
what
you.
you're suggesting, working with a small business, there's not a
My
single
wife
small
could make
business
some
in the
iron
United
ons on
States of
demand.
America
She broke
that is
the
going to say,
iron.
oh yeah, we know Darkside Phil. We'll just, of the goodness of our own hearts, produce all of your merchandise completely for free. We'll front all the production costs.
Yeah,
and
that's
everything for
unrealistic,
you.
DSP.
And therefore, people can just order it out of our warehouse and buy it, you know, because we trust that you're going to sell merchandise. That will never happen. Okay? Small businesses will require you to do the investment model, where you have to put your money into it first, pre-produce all the merch first, and then it's up to you to push that merch and sell it on the internet. Okay? I don't have that money. I don't have any money to invest in merchandise.
This dude, by the way, shit all over LTG. I'm going to assume that's a new clone. He forgot about that. He forgot about this particular segment. He shit all over LTG, basically saying he made more money than LTG. He's a baller. LTG fucking sucks. All this and that. He's a broke-ass Johnny Bravo. How's it going, Salty Wizard? However, LTG makes merch. He makes merch. And DSP could try and make all sorts of arguments about that. But let's be real here. LTG has had far more cancelable statements than DSP. Mostly because every stream is a cancelable moment from LTG. Whereas DSP usually gets them maybe every 5 streams he can cancel himself. So LTG has been able to make merch. And LTG is not exactly very rich. He's not pulling in a lot of money. Because you can see where he lives. He does not live in an expensive area. So how is it that LTG, the broke-ass loser Johnny Bravo, is able to have merch made? Can you make this make sense, DSP? Because it's not adding up. Are you saying that you're more broke than LTG? Oh, that's too bad.
Zero. I have $0 right now that I can invest in merchandise.
Yes,
Okay?
exactly, Lost
So,
in 10. And most of these businesses don't give a shit who you
all right?
are. They
I have
really
to go
don't.
for a model of one of these businesses on the internet.
You have to be consistently terrible for them to
The
toss
ones
you
that
out.
are out there, I hate to say it, are businesses that are, how can I say? I mean, I know this sounds really dumb, but essentially they're kind of left-leaning. Meaning, if they get bombarded with complaints by my trolls saying, did you know that Phil in the past said this racist thing and said this sexist thing and did that? And then they bombard them with quotes that I did a decade ago, 15 years ago.
Here's the thing. DSP, despite how he insists that the world is super corrupt and everyone cares only about money, he seems to forget that the world is super corrupt and cares only about money. DSP, no one gives a shit about that stuff really, in terms of the business sense. They only care if it's going to risk their profits. If DSP, the other reason why DSP's merch got delisted is not because of all the feedback that they got, because that's just not what always instincts. It's that he wasn't making any money from it. If DSP for a period there, his merch was so old that it was referencing Christmas events from 2 years ago. They probably saw all these complaints that DSP had about him, looked at his merch page, saw that nothing was getting sold, and that he had old ass shit from 2 years ago, and said, no, get him out of here. This is worthless to us. If DSP had good merch that people wanted to buy, I don't think they would have really paid that much attention to the criticism. But DSP needs that. He needs that excuse that they're too woke, they're too leftist, because they care about DSP, saying hello Jew and shit like that. You forget your own narrative sometimes, DSP.
Or out of context quotes of my content that literally it's not what I'm saying. But
JPEGs over community all day. That should be on a t-shirt.
Said something awful, right? And they bombard
I can
them with
get a
that
run
shit.
of t-shirts
And
made.
like,
It's
well,
like,
we don't want to bother with that. Our business won't be associated with someone
can't
like
do it,
that.
man.
And then they just say, okay,
$100, that might as well be $1 million.
Partner with you, And the problem is, they won't do it up front because all these businesses are automated. So I'll make my page.
I won't toss Phil any ideas in any of that.
Because
even if you don't look at it from a moral perspective, it's
so all that work
pointless.
and effort of someone designing merch and stuff for me, and then me loading it in there and setting it up, and everyone's placing orders, and then they all get canceled. So what's the point? Right?
Right.
That's the thing.
We should just give up all the time.
Third-party sites that will consider doing this. And people sent me some suggestions. None of them are like. One of them was like, you need to have over 1 million subscribers on your YouTube channel or social network for us.
How many of them were saying that, DSP?
I was like,
one?
Well, I don't have that. I have 200,000.
I want to imagine. The email read something like this. Dear Burnell, we at Gucci don't really feel like it's a good idea to make merchandise for you because, dude, I mean, come on. That's text. It says that. Quote, dude, come on. Did you even see your subscribers? And first of all, aren't you the guy?
Fuck you, Gucci.
On my YouTube channel, right? I mean, if you combine all my YouTube channels together and my social media, maybe I've got like 300,000, 350 tops. I'm nowhere near 1 million. So without having that level of clout, I guess, these businesses won't do business with you. And the ones that are
I would buy DSP Gucci wear. Not from DSP, though. Like, they make fun of him.
Will always just lie and
that'd be
say stuff
cool.
about me. That's not true. And these idiots just believe it because they'd rather err on the
Gucci is committing fraud by putting my face on stuff. I never got paid for this shit.
Oh, I'm definitely buying a couple shirts then. DSP's not getting any money for it? Sign me up.
I can't work with a small business to do merch. As much as the suggestion seems like it would work, it would not work. Okay? Let's continue.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's see here. It's been a while since you did a Game Pass marathon. So many different games will be fun to do.
Gucci?
Dark Tide, Call of the Wild, The Angler, Party Animals.
Yeah, exactly. I mispronounced it.
And many more. Let's do it. Alice Madness returns. You played in 2011. It'd be awesome to see it run. All right. Can I be honest with you guys?
No.
You guys suggesting games for me to play is a waste of everybody's time.
It kind of is. DSP's only right by accident here.
Right now, it's the middle of the
I
busiest
think
game
Lynn should get a maid outfit once he has. Oh my god.
Games I'm playing. There's more new games coming out. There's new games I skip. I'm not playing a Game Pass marathon right now. So I get it, but your suggestions like that are something for when there's downtime.
Right,
not
Phil,
for
every
now.
little team.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. B. Dude, those little league teams are rolling in
Knights of
cash.
the Old Republic 2. Let's play. Okay.
There you go. Nice.
Cut out the Q&A sections of your podcast. Make it special again for Ask the King.
Oh.
Play Lost Odyssey. Well, here's the thing.
Banned.
Okay. Ask the King has absolutely 1,000,000% gone completely neglected.
That's what
we have
he
not
said.
done an episode of Ask the King since.
That's what he said.
I think, because I think the
How's
last
it going,
episode
Ragnar?
was supposed to be in May, and what ended up happening? was
Lord
the big
DS Parody, I'm
busy.
thinking really
Like,
hard
you
how
don't need to do
no
Ask
one
the
actually
King.
wants
You're
that.
so busy, you answer people's questions every day, right? So just
Oh,
do it later. That's all we're
Casper,
doing too. Street Fighter
there's been a
stuff, do it later.
bunch of
Oh, we're
rants
doing
lately
live.
from DSP.
Now
I'm
this
going to
is
get to
going on,
those
now
later,
this is
though.
that. You see? And all year Ask the King just got forgotten. We haven't done Ask the King all year long. Now, because I haven't done Ask the King.
I think this is a new clone. He already forgot the
missing
question.
anything? No, right? Why aren't we missing anything? Because I'm an interactive streamer. and every day I do a podcast where I talk with you guys.
That's
and
what
answer
he's
questions,
saying. You
right? We go in depth a lot of the times with these questions and things like that when there's times and stuff like that. But I'm an interactive streamer now, and I told you
Shut
guys
up and get to the point.
that I thought the Ask the King have become outdated, and I didn't really feel that it had a place in my content anymore.
Jesus, you're a fucking loser.
Every day, especially chill streams. Like,
Okay, so reminder, because it's already been far too long since the question was asked. Why don't you stop doing the podcast and save it all for Ask the King? That was the question. DS response so far. We don't do Ask the King anymore. We do the podcast. Yes! I'm saying switch them! What do I need to get the dry erase board out again? So this is, again, it goes with what you said earlier, Roachbait, about not sending any advice to this dude. Even if you had the best of intent, even if you truly wanted in your heart to help DSP, he's too fucking stupid. He's too dumb to be helped. If he's drowning there in the ocean and you throw him a life preserver, he's going to start eating it. He's too stupid to be saved. The person asked, why isn't this the thing? And DSP says, yeah, that's the thing. Why?
Like whenever I'm playing a chill, relaxing game, we're talking almost the whole time. That's when we're getting a lot of questions, discussed.
I agree, Greg. I think a lot of people would get a lot less annoyed by that.
Because of that, the way I see it anyway, it is obsolete. But people kind of demand it over the years. No, it's your longest running.
Lord DS parody because he can't focus. That's why.
You keep doing Ask the King, so please keep it in the rotation. So I did. But then this year is the year where it kind of
because
like
you
and
yeah,
you haven't noticed.
Exactly,
no one's
Casper.
asking for it. It's not like people are like, man, we're really missing Ask the King. We're so sad. No one has said that this year. I'm not even a single person has said that this year. Okay, so
the clones keep getting sucked into the paper shredder along with suggestions.
Yeah,
no kidding. Their hand are still on the pages.
It just kind of happened naturally. It wasn't like an active choice to say, let's just end Ask the King. It just kind of naturally happened where no one really needs it. There's no need for it. I used to do a holiday Ask the King for Thanksgiving every year. Do we need to do it this year? Not really, right? What's the point? We're talking every day. So
just move on to the next question, DSP. You're already done.
I don't really see the point. Now, this person says, just don't do any Q&A whatsoever on any of your daily streams. Instead, just save it for Ask the King. So you want me to never answer questions?
That's not what he said.
Never. Wow.
That's not what he
Put out
said.
all Q&A.
That's not. Oh my god. This is again where DSP really reminds me of the kids that I work with at work. I deal with this shit every goddamn day. Every day I deal with this from the kids. Where you offer them a suggestion and they always take it to the most extreme degree. For example, we have a kid now, he's giving me a lot of problems, but he keeps going into the kitchen area. The rules of the facility is the kids don't go into the kitchen area. If you need anything from the kitchen area, you ask the staff and the staff goes and gets it for you and then brings it back to you. And we always go and get it for them. There's never been a period where I just say, no, I'm not getting you shit, except for like a couple kids that really frustrate the shit out of me. I'm not giving them anything. Someone else can get it. But this kid who I've been dealing with, I said, hey man, you need to ask staff when you go into the kitchen. And his response, along with some other aggressive behaviors he does that's really obnoxious, is he responded with, oh, so I need to ask you guys to do anything? Do I need to ask you to wipe my ass and take a shit? No, that was never stated. That's not a reasonable statement to make from that. Asking to get something out of the kitchen does not translate to that. And DSP, like an actual child, does this. Hey DSP, maybe you should get rid of the Q&A. Oh, so I'm just not supposed to ever answer any questions ever, huh? Okay, that's cool. That's not what we said, DSP. And you know that.
Sections of podcasts and content, so you can do.
This life preserver is kind of bitter.
What you guys really want? You never
this
want me
DSP tries is pretty bad so
to talk
far.
to you guys and answer
it needs robust sauce.
If you ask me a question, sorry, we're withholding that question. And if you would like a good answer, save that for Ask the King, which is coming up.
You have yet to give a good answer to any question, right. DSP. What?
Submit it in the post, right?
All right.
That's what you're saying. You want me to?
No, that's not what he's saying. You fuckface. God, you're a dickhead.
Do you see my point?
No.
The whole thing is I'm an interactive streamer. We have conversations. We have fun. Right? I do feel like the one thing
yeah, like lacking, just rebrand until they shut the hell up.
The one thing that's lacking, if someone asks me a question where we could get into a really in-depth answer, if there's a big story or a history behind it, right? Because that's happened. Someone will ask me a question, I'm like, well, actually, I got this big story to tell you about it, about my past, and let's do this, and then the answer's like 20 minutes long. You know, you don't get 20-minute long answers usually.
What?
On a podcast or in the midst of a game.
Oh, that's not true at all.
That level of answer.
That's a straight up lie.
We're constantly moving. We're on to the next thing.
DSP only operates in exclusively at least 20-minute answers.
That in that
What?
case, okay?
Snort, that's what you get.
I definitely understand that there's something lacking. And maybe it does stand to reason that every once in a while we should do an Ask the King. Maybe we should bring back Ask the King for Christmas. Maybe we absolutely should do Holiday Ask the King. A Christmas-themed Ask the King where you could have burning questions you had all year that I didn't answer. Holiday questions for the year end. We are so close to 100 episodes. I want to say we're like 3 episodes away from episode 100 for the show.
Jesus Christ,
And it
man, these
absolutely could
snorts.
be the final episode of the entire series to end the series, right? It could be. So let's think about it.
Yeah,
all
let's.
right?
Let's.
And,
That
let me know, but
we should
would
think
I
about this.
Stop doing Q&A on my podcast and other content to save all questions for Ask the King? No.
No, that's unreasonable. That's why that's not what he
In
asked.
2017. That's what I signed up for, to answer people's questions, right?
Right, B.
Play Lost Odyssey. I love
Punctuation,
Lost Odyssey,
dude.
but again, these random game suggestions don't help.
Literally had a 30-minute plus
will I ever
meltdown
stream or
over
post
someone talking
videos
about
in
his
4K
looks today. What the
resolution?
fuck? Yeah, well, you know,
I'm not
that should have been
opposed to
safe
it.
for Ask the King.
Okay. What I will
I
say
could
is
agree
this.
with that.
Sadly, a lot of games, even though they run at 4K, they will not run at 60 frames per second. And I'm just starting to enjoy.
What do you
the
want
fact
to be done
in the
about
last
that,
1 to 2
DSP?
years, the vast majority of games that I've been playing can be played at 60 frames per second.
Okay.
It seems like the first time in 100 years
Okay.
that that's possible.
100 years.
It's stupid. That
Games haven't been around
it's
for
wrong
100
to
years,
have
but
60
okay.
frames as a standard option.
Or video
Performance
games,
is a
anyway.
standard option in a new release. But you're not going to get that at 4K, right?
Okay.
In addition, 4K resolution is an incredibly high required bitrate for both broadcasting.
Oh
and
God,
recording.
what the hell is
I think
that?
I could do it, even if I wanted to do it now.
I want to hear this.
Gonna get that at 4K, right? In addition, 4K resolution is an incredibly high required bit rate for both broadcast.
Jesus, man.
I think I could do
It's
it. Even
actual
if I wanted to do it now,
hippo.
I probably could.
It feels pretty
I think
ancient,
the
huh,
question
Salty
would actually
Wizard?
be more of
Get that off my screen.
could people watch it? It's such a high bit rate. Who could watch at 4K? Who has that internet that could even handle that, right? And
Yeah.
on top of that, no, with my current
Super
hardware,
internet.
I can't do 4K. My current hardware, the highest resolution.
That's
is
true,
1080p.
BRJ.
can't
I used
do
to send
4K
people to the
if I
shadow
wanted.
realm.
All this capture stuff I'm using only does 1080p, okay?
Jesus.
So even if I wanted to do up to 4K, it does 4K pass through, but it does not do 4K resolution. So I would need a full hardware upgrade. I would need a better PC.
Maybe DSP
better
is a
capture device,
Gungan. Maybe that's why he does all
the one
that.
thing We've avoided. We've literally upgraded everything else, right? My TV, my game consoles, my capture device.
I could
my
do
lighting,
4K, but I can't do 4K. But Richard, no one can even see 4K.
Here has been
It's true.
upgraded in the
4K is
last
like
3 years.
Bigfoot.
Everything
No one's really
but
ever
the
seen it
PC.
before.
The PC is still the 9-year-old PC, and it still works. It's not really having any problems. It's allowing me to keep doing what I need to do, and anything like 1080p, I'm good. When I need to go to 4K, I guess that's going to be when we're forced to do that kind of an upgrade, okay? Okay.
All right, good. Got our coughing done. That dude's debunked as
Go to a
stupid.
local Street Fighter tournament and play without online lag. Why?
Well,
What's the point of that?
what?
Right?
Because it's fun and interesting. Why not? Oh my God, this dude's such a lame ass. What is it?
Jesus, you're a fucking loser.
What? To show people what it looks like. Hey man, this is what Street Fighter's like offline. Let's go play. And of course, DSP has to always be a winner. He can't just go to a local tournament and kind of goof around for a little bit, play some games offline, see what people are up to, see what these kids are up to, you know, kind of give them a little run back from the old timer, you know? Can't do that. That shit's stupid. Oh, I've still got it in my head, BO. I'll wait till after this one. I'll say it between the two.
I don't even understand what the point of that would be. I have no aspirations to be a competitive Street Fighter.
No one
player
said you had
at all.
to. Already forgot the
I
question.
don't
That's a
care about
clone
competitive
change.
Street Fighter anymore. I have no intentions to travel and put that kind of money and time.
No one said you had to be a pro DSP. That's not the question.
Being a variety content creator to do so.
Isn't that variety?
Honestly, and here's another funny part about this too. Okay, if you didn't notice, when Street Fighter 6 came out, and there was tons of hype around the game.
It's weird seeing him
People
shake at this
man,
speed.
People absolutely ate up every piece of content I put out of Street Fighter 6.
He looks
right?
like he looks like an Ed and Eddie cartoon. You know how the line always jiggled in Ed and Eddie? That's what he looks like.
Now when I play it, it's all right, but you notice a lot of that hype is gone. Why? Because the hype for the game is played out. The game came out in June.
Okay.
It's November. You know, we're 5 months into a game.
Well, you know where there
That
would be
hype
hype? A local tournament. Okay.
And imagine, just imagine, if I
Yeah,
had
Salty
made
Wizard,
that
we're running low.
that I'm going to commit that much time and effort. And by the way, that would
No one said you had to commit time and effort.
that I've played between June and now. Literally, I would have had to skip half the releases that I've played. Okay.
No one's
like I do now.
No one is asking for this. That's not what the question was, DSP. The question was, why don't you go to a local tournament and record footage? They did not ask, hey DSP, why don't you become super competitive and enter the tournament scene trying to win gold and trying to establish a record and like spend all your time practicing and training to be the best Street Fighter? No one said that, DSP. No one said it. They said, why don't you go to a local tournament? But DSP, again, like I said, with the kids, he exaggerates things. He takes things to degrees that weren't necessary. You don't have to be there to be the best. You could just show up and play a little bit and then leave. That's it. That's all you have to do.
Tons of Street Fighter.
Yeah, we have a vat. That's why he's always so gunked up, CL. That's why he snorts all the time.
I had to attend a bunch of locals in Seattle and stuff like that. All for what? Right? Just
for
to get to
variety.
Maybe I can semi-hang with people in the area.
For variety, just chill.
What would it have been? What would have been the benefit of doing that? Because by now, the hype's already dead. So unless you're completely in the pro circuit and you're planning on...
Man, I'll put myself headfirst into a stump grinder when I listen to this shit.
What benefit would that have done for me?
Right? Yeah, it's think of Aliens Resurrection, CL. Kind of like that. Just as gruesome, too.
When it comes to competitive fighting games, the incredible amount of time, skill, effort, dedication, money, all this is an investment. It's all an investment to do it.
I feel like pulling my hair out. Like, I'm just so annoyed by this shit. No one said this. This was not stated. This was not asked. No one told you to spend a shit ton of money resuming your career as a competitive fighting game player. That was not the question. The question was, why don't you go to a local tournament and play and record it? You know, I'll go ahead and say it now, CL. The reason why I think this suggestion box segment happened, it's really noticeable here, is that DSP used this as a means to salt the earth. And by that, I mean, he wanted to get all these questions so that he could shut them all down. So that in the future, if someone asks, he could say, hey, I already addressed your complaint. I already addressed this question. He's not doing this to look for suggestions. He's not looking to look for advice. He's getting all these people out there to explain why it is that none of their things are ever going to work. He is essentially discouraging feedback this way. And it's working, because, I mean, if you're a reasonable person and you were watching this stream, seeing him shut down everything, you're not going to suggest anything to this dude ever again. Look at him misunderstand questions. Look at him create these narratives why he can't do these very minor things. He's effectively silencing people with this. And I think that's what he wants. He doesn't want to improve. He wants you to shut the fuck up about him improving.
And I've been there, done that. I've invested all that time, effort.
Some Area 57 Oracle tubes are all empty before clone is released, all except their third nasal purchase. We don't know how to fix the problem. Yeah, it's bugged,
that
dude.
was too much of a waste of all my life putting into Street Fighter. I didn't see the benefit, right? Even if today I were to be signed by an esports team,
no one said that.
I still don't think it would be worth it. I still feel like there's not enough of a benefit, right? It's too much of a sacrifice. It means I wouldn't be able to spend time.
Yeah, exactly, Rama. He has to take it to this kind of shit, man.
Like for you guys, the variety of content. What's the point? So, go to locals and try to get good. And why?
No one said that.
Why?
No one said that.
I don't understand it. The gimmick would last one tournament. Phil went to one.
It only has to last one.
Or whatever, and then no one cares.
Okay, I gotta calm down. I'm getting too annoyed with this shit.
So I don't get it. Like,
this dude has to always pretend like he's the smartest person in the room. He doesn't understand shit.
Okay. Anyway, that's a lot of suggestions we've gone through.
I mean, I'll be real. If that happened, I would be pretty hyped for that. I'll admit it. If DSP came on stream tonight and said, hey guys, I decided I'm just gonna like show up at the local tournament. They're doing one down at the game shop a couple blocks away. Yeah, it's a little small thing, like 8 people showing up and they're playing. I'm gonna go in there and kind of like hang out, you know, maybe record some footage. Dude, I'm excited. Now granted, it's gonna be all stupid. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited to see this new thing. DSP can't do that. He has to go to Evo. That's essentially what your question was. Local tournament? Well, I mean, I guess I could go to Evo. That's not what I asked, man. Oh, man, that was really exhausting.
I think for today, we will pause the suggestion box. That was a good 40 minutes of suggestions. Okay? Now, I would love to hear feedback. If you heard any of my responses to the suggestions and you want to follow up, leave comments on this video.
I kind of don't ask because I'll write you until you're just mentally. Exactly. Exactly. Same thing with the interview.
Feedback. It's not just me talking to you. It's us having a dialogue.
There's no dialogue had here, DSP. You misunderstood everything that dude said. How is it a dialogue if you don't understand what I'm saying?
Mondays or whatever. I don't get it. I just don't understand how that would work for me. That sounds like something that works for a giant streamer who's in demand.
Yeah, it does sound like that to you, DSP, because you're stupid and lazy.
Right? Again, what works for everyone else who's 10 times, 20 times, 50 times bigger than me does not work for me. I'm a small-time guy, so I have to do what works, right?
And people are suggesting things that would work.
And I'll be right back, and then we'll continue on with shout-outs and the like.
Okay. This is his out of something he doesn't want to do, which is pretty much everything that means get his ass off the seat. Exactly. He always has to take things to such a huge degree. It's so obnoxious, man. It's just more of him LARPing as a busy adult who has exhausted all non-begging options. Yeah, he needs to find some good suggestions that involve no activity on his part. You know what? You know what? I got a suggestion, DSP. You should beg more. You know, you got all these detractors who are going to comment on anything you say. You should beg nonstop. You should have multiple recordings of you begging and play them all at once.
So, to reiterate, if you want to have a dialogue about the stuff we're talking about from the suggestion box, respond to this video.
We should do some sort of giga level begging.
It's pertinent. We can have a conversation back and forth. I will highlight that
Those
comment.
other problems the way he communicates with viewers. That bullshit podcast where he tells them they're wrong isn't a conversation. No, it's not communication.
We're not putting up another suggestions box for November yet because we got to get through the one for October 1st. It would make no sense for me to have another one already when we're addressing things now that very well could address your concern.
I mean, think how fun that would be. DSP showing up at a local, just kind of goofing around. That'd be kind of fun.
Suggestions we got through, right?
I mean, it'd be fun for everyone involved. Holy shit, you're the guy, and then he has to leave.
For us to get through the suggestions box before we get to new stuff. So let's write it out. All right, guys?
Oh, let's write it out. I'm on board, dude.
So let's do shout outs. We start off with Game Master.
Is that all
this? Game Master, who did a super chat earlier. Thank you.
That's all suggestions for this video?
The Batmobile tracks, the Arkham trilogy, and now.
Hold on. This dude right here, OP Boone, despite being humongous shithead, this is actually kind of appreciated. And all this crap. Hey, thanks for the subscription. Sorry about the toxification. It'll wash off. Just put some lye on it. Attribute some game codes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's all bullshit. So he's done. Okay, and then we got the second one that came from, what was it, yesterday? We got a brand new shirt and a brand new attitude.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, guess what?
I was actually a fan of Phil when he was going to tournaments and stuff and vlogging.
We're continuing with the suggestion box.
Yeah.
We haven't done this in a week.
But you can't do anything for me, man.
And you guys probably forgot about it, but I didn't. I've been waiting all week to continue on.
See, DSP doesn't care about UCL. You guys want something? No.
On right now. You ready for this?
No, you can't do that. Now, I haven't seen any of this one.
Lost in the back rooms. He should play one of these games. 1, Escape the Backrooms, the OG and most updated Backrooms game based on the Kane Pixels Backrooms found footage. Number 2, the Complex found footage, free but short Backrooms game. Took me 45 minutes to complete a prequel to the Complex.
Huh?
The Complex, best-looking Backrooms game.
Look at how confused he is. What?
What the hell is this person talking about?
Look at the comprehension on his face. You might as well be speaking in Dutch or something. He has no idea what you're talking about.
What the fuck? What are these words? They have no connection to each other.
The Complex, best-looking Backrooms game.
It's like it's random word generated. What?
What the hell is this person talking about?
I don't know. Probably a game.
Does anyone have any idea what that meant? What is
the Backrooms? There you go. I was a fan of DSP until I realized it wasn't an act. Then it all fell apart for me. I thought for sure this dude was deep in character, and then I realized, oh shit, no, this is really him. That's sad.
Backrooms is a meme zoomer.
Going off what you said earlier, CL.
The Backrooms are an online fiction originating from a creepypasta posted in a 2019 4chan thread. I'm going to blow my nose.
Another thing I just realized. Isn't that how PewDiePie became popular? Wasn't so much that he was playing these games and flipping out. Yeah, it's easy to play. DSP should play it. It's not necessarily that he was flipping out. Yeah, granted, that was part of it. But another thing that he doesn't remember is that he played a lot of games that not a lot of people were watching at the time. Or better yet, were kind of going upwards in their popularity. So, yeah, you want to run on something new. You want to run the energy of something new. But DSP doesn't like that. He wants to run the energy on something new. He doesn't want to run the energy on something new. I want to run the energy on the new Call of Duty. I don't want to ride the energy of some new indie game. That's stupid. All right. Yeah, his fans might like it. That's a problem. YouTube used to be positive. Yeah, I remember CL. It used to be positive before people started making fun of Phil. DSP made fun of tons of people and called them slurs and all that. But it was okay because it was the Wild West and it was all positive.
So...
But then as soon as people said, DSP, you're not good at games,
the reason this person
negative.
brought it up is because now I have a mini PC, so I could play these games if I wanted on Steam, and apparently they're all $10. I know absolutely nothing about backrooms, so if you guys think that'd be something fun for me to do as a random thing, it's $10. I'd be okay with that. You let me know. All right? Okay. Continuing on. Hey, Phil, hope you're doing well and you're excited for the upcoming Halloween season. You bet I am.
Chair cam is hype, Blacky Bracky.
My suggestion would be the most definite tackle Hollow Knight or Blasphemous. They'll generate stream, chat, involvement, and discussions. There's lore and
no, it will not.
Approach them. The Hollow Knight sequel is coming soon, and Blasphemous 2 released in 2023. Both will have ongoing momentum. The game can be frustrating at times. It will satisfy Souls fans, but it's highly rewarding and satisfying. Metroidvania games in general please both the modern and retro viewers.
Snort.
Excuse me. Traditionally, every single time I play a Metroidvania game, they don't work.
He's playing Mario. That's why I'm skipping tonight. I'm just so done with Mario.
Not enough going on in them.
I can't watch it tonight.
Although, I would say Metroid Dread was the exception to the rule. So, okay. You should have on guests. Screen them. Do your best to avoid trolls. If they start trolling, you dump the guest. Have them pick a topic you both agree on to discuss. Have an honest, good faith discussion with them. This will be a natural progression of DSP Reacts. You can have someone engaging with you in the audience. You don't have to go on someone else's channel. You can have this content on your
yeah, this
channel.
one is never going to happen. No, no, no.
What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, never going to happen. All right, before DSP answers, let me go ahead and answer for you, DSP. That'll never work. And the reason why that would never work for DSP isn't so much that people would betray him. That's not really ever been the case. DSP hasn't actually suffered a whole lot of betrayal. What happens, and DSP construes that as betrayal, is that inevitably he will either shit on you or shit on someone else in front of you or shit on the idea of being a decent person. And that person who witnessed all of it or was on the receiving end of it will change their view on DSP and then start to distance themselves from them. You saw this in pretty much every single relationship DSP has ever had. So no, it would never work. What DSP needs is he essentially needs the world's biggest yes man, which would be OIC. And he can't have OIC on his stream because OIC is going to start making sexual advances on him, and that would make him uncomfortable. So it's impossible.
Right? If you remember,
how's it going, intelligent counterspell?
I told you that I had 3 ideas.
I'd laugh if he played Blasphemy. Oh, I'd love to see him play it. He'd get his ass kicked.
The internet. Idea number 2 was
positive.
long-form React content.
It was never a big time YouTuber ever.
No. Was DSP asks it.
DSP was only big because there was no other options.
Going on with the sun. I gotta close the blinds now. This was going to be a show where I had guests, and it was going to be an interview format. Where the guest and I sit down, and I would interview the guest, but of course they would talk to me as well.
I'm sure. No, you'd be talking about your helicopter job.
That was the point. That was the whole point of this idea of the show. And I had one guest already lined up 100%.
Why you say Street Fighter 6 game then when he rage quit it?
I mean, come on, I've rage quit everything.
And I had everything lined up, and then the sun came out and I couldn't see.
Is the sun directly in your face, DSP? Ah, yeah, there you go. Much better. That's more reasonable.
No. Here's what ended up happening, and we already talked about this. So, DSP Reacts
Redneck, I'm kind of in the same vein. I really didn't find Angry Video Game Nerd funny. I got the joke, I just didn't find it funny.
Show by, say, April. What happened between February and April? The fucking Side-Scrollers interview, where after they did what I consider to be at least a semi-fair interview, they then decided to turn into giant haters for money. So because of that, literally, I had nothing but negative attention.
I don't know if I can count all the retcons he's done about this interview thing. Because when it was happening, he was saying he was perfectly fine that they were getting donations and such. In fact, he very clearly stated, that's just part of your business. All right, you're going to get donations. You're going to get money. The problem is that money came with negativity attached to it. What side-scrollers should have done, to be fair to Phil, was any dollar that was attached to something negative, return it. In fact, not only that, if it was attached to someone who was negative, return it. Like this dude, Lynn the Deranged, who bought one of the shirts, they should have returned my money. And furthermore, they should have said on their stream, "We believe Phil." Otherwise, it was a bunch of shit show, man. It was toxic.
Against me for about 2 straight months.
I sound like Theo when I'm doing my DSP voice.
They did it for personal profit.
Mine's unique and robust.
And because of that, basically, no one wanted anything to do with me.
How's it going,
like,
Zero?
why the fuck would I want to be on an interview show with Darkside Phil? Everyone hates him right now because everyone's crapping on him, right? So it ruined the show. That idea. I said, well, forget it. Now's certainly not the.
I want to imagine the detractors talking like this.
Because everyone's crapping on him, right?
We hate him, Snort.
So it ruined the show. That idea, I said, well, forget it. Now's certainly not the time for that. Let's put that on the back burner and maybe go back.
Big ol' Snort. That was a nice one.
So there you go. And so would I consider doing a show like that again? Yes. But it would have to be once all the nonsense calms down. I would say.
Yeah, you got to wait for the heat to die down. You got a 5-star wanted level.
It's been going with that direction.
I got to just chill for a little bit.
Away completely from
Where are the
drama.
detractors coming from?
Keep trying to
or are we cooming?
All the time, and I ignore their nonsense, and I don't bring them up, and I just fucking.
That's why I bring them up all the time.
And that's what I'm trying to do. All right. So, is there a possibility that maybe next year, when all this stuff is now almost a year since the bullshit? Right?
Tell you what, DSP, have me on your show. I'll do exactly what you wanted. Anyone who donates me any money, I'll ban them. Not only ban them, but I'll dox them. For you, obviously. I love you, DSP. I'll make sure you are happy. And then afterwards, after you give me the bullshit-ass story you've ever said, I'll say, you know what? I believe Phil. And in fact, all you detractors are messed up. Go on, DSP, have me on your show. I promise you, I'll do that.
Can we maybe actually bring the idea back and try to make it happen? Yes, it's a possibility. Absolutely it is. For sure. All right? But it just didn't make
You guys just took him out of context. I saw his phone. I saw it. You were all wrong.
That they decided to fucking turn on me like that and ruin any opportunity for me to start something new. It was
That's not really a thing that ruins your opportunities, DSP.
February, because if I had waited and I was only going to launch it after the interview, the whole idea would have fallen flat. No one would have cared. So I got very lucky with the timing, for sure.
Oh, yeah, that whole event was lucky, for sure.
So we'll see. It's not a bad suggestion. It's just something that right now, it doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of things DSP would do that I would love to see. I wanted him to do his political show.
My podcast is not 3 hours long. The stream starts at 10:45.
Imagine DSP talking about the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Ooh.
Typically, it runs to around 11:30 to, or excuse me, 12:30 to 12:45.
Oh, man.
So if you actually measure the podcast, it's between an hour to an hour and a half every day. The reason you think it's 3 hours is because you're a fucking
No, the snorts are rough, but they're kind of funny sometimes. Especially when they're placed very rudely.
Every podcast out there on average is anywhere from a half an hour to about 2 hours long, depending. That's an average podcast.
Okay.
My podcast is not any longer than anyone else's. It's just that people over-exaggerate because, for me, anything I do is always wrong. I don't get judged the same as everyone else.
No, because DSP doesn't actually have a podcast. For me, a podcast is... Well, it's definitely not as one-sided as DSP does it. Normally, you're supposed to have more than one person. There are podcasts that have one person, but that one person usually has, I don't know, some sort of magnetism or some sort of ability to stay on topic. DSP will start his stream, talk about the helicopter job, talk about his bad back, talk about his blinds, talk about his son, the son, not his kid. Jasper, well, we might bring him up. We're going to talk about how Cat broke something, and then we might talk about games for a little bit, then we're going to take that back to the helicopter job, and then we're going to talk about the trolls. DSP doesn't talk about anything of substance on his podcast. Even if you wanted to use the definition that it's okay if it's just one person, DSP has the shittiest podcast on planet Earth. I think objectively. I don't know how you could do worse than him, unless you got on the podcast and fell asleep. I don't know how you could do worse. But... No, DSP, it's not because we shit on you for no reason. It's because we have a ton of reasons. Your podcast is actually painful to watch. Okay.
So because you said that it's 3 hours long, you can kiss my fucking ass.
All right, never mind. Shitting on you. Ban this dude. Well, it feels like 3 hours. DSP would mix up the Palestinians and Pakistanians.
Bring Cat back.
And then he would mix them up with Pachycephalosaurus. He would be really confused.
Sure your mods can handle
Why are Israelis fighting dinosaurs? I'm so confused.
So, number one, get a co-host. I have zero interest in having a co-host for anything. Zero.
Why
I'm
not?
staying in my lane. I'm staying away from drama. I'm purposefully making sure that anything I do does not negatively affect my viewers. Therefore, no reason for a
try harder, dude.
Okay? When my
Every
wife ever
podcast
appeared on the
says
streams again,
60%
we've
about
already
drinking and
addressed this,
recapping things that passed
You
the
know why
day
she's
before
not
the
on
most
the
boring
stream.
one.
When she
Yeah.
first moved in here
I don't
again
really watch a lot of
5 years
podcasts where they
ago,
talk about their
the
thing that
intention
happened on their
was
day
every
off,
once in a
unless they got
while,
in a car
do
chase or
Q&A
something.
session with me, where we would sit here with the viewers and actually answer questions and talk about our life and stuff like that. We were going to do that. We did 2 of them, and we were going to continue to do those. In addition, she was going to show up for special events, like holiday events and things like that, possibly doing co-op, or maybe just sitting here and relaxing with me and being a part of the fun, right? And what happened? People were insanely nasty to her for no reason. She literally never said or...
And you, DSP, you didn't protect her. And I'm not saying you had to be banning people in chat, but what you could have done was limit the capacity for her to see negativity. What other option did she have? You were playing the game, you were ignoring her, you weren't getting her involved, you weren't drawing her into whatever was happening. You basically left her with no other option but to look at the chat the entire time. And they shit on her. They shit on her in the chat. That's your fault too, DSP. If Kat was playing the game and doing something else, I think she would have had fun. But no, she was basically just tasked with sitting there and looking at the chat. Of course that shit's going to be depressing. Even if she wasn't getting shit on, that chat sucks, DSP. Your chat's boring. The only time anything ever interesting happens in your chat is someone getting tossed out. So no, that's not on us, dude. Not always.
or did a negative thing to anyone on the internet. All right. And I'm going to say this because now I'm going to be very honest with everyone. All right.
You can get OIC as co-host. No, OIC will flirt with this dude. And he's married, man.
Off a lot of people with the way she used to behave. All right. I get that. That was a lifetime ago.
Oh, we're shitting on Panda Lee?
Is not my ex. All right. But it seems like people rubbed that onto her.
No.
Like that negativity towards my ex.
No.
Went onto my wife.
No, that never happened, DSP.
People, all right.
That is a humongous lie.
She used to talk shit. She used to get into fights with my viewers. She would come into the chat and moderate and shit. I get it. I admit it. As I've reacted to my old documentaries and things like that, I've told you guys. That's all.
Okay, for real. Do you guys remember any person at all who equated the negativity from Panda Lee or transferred the negativity from Panda Lee onto Cat? I can't think of a single person who did that. Not even the shittiest of the detractors, you know, the ones that are obnoxious that you try and ignore. None of the big ones, you know, the ones that they're not big for a reason. I didn't see anyone do that. That didn't happen, DSP.
On me. You understand? That's
I think you should have a stream with Jade. Why not?
Permeate my content.
Let Jade be on stream. Let Jade talk about his life. Why not?
My content. I should have had a separation between business
exactly,
and personal.
Phil.
And I didn't do that. That's my fault. All right? But those days are in the past. My ex has been my ex for 6 fucking years. All right?
If anything, we transferred the hate for Phil on her. Exactly. Now that's more accurate.
Who I'm going to be with, hopefully for the rest of my life, who I absolutely love and cherish, and it's a completely different situation. She has not done a single thing to anyone on the internet to get their anger. 0. She's not my ex. But it seems like the...
But DSP, I mean, if you use that metric, no one's ever done anything. She hasn't done anything to anyone, so she's not worthy of being mocked. But DSP, people mock people all the time who did nothing to them. DSP has done nothing to me. But this is something that's very pervasive amongst abusive people. DSP did this during the Howard and John stream. And I'm surprised more people didn't note this when it happened. Maybe they did and I just didn't pay attention. But when Howard was getting frustrated with DSP, DSP said, "Why is Howard mad? I didn't do anything to Howard." DSP does not understand the concept of other people being bothered by someone else's actions. You know, I saw DSP abuse that person, but I can't be mad at DSP because he didn't do anything to me directly. DSP has mocked people who did nothing to him. Hideo Kojima did nothing to DSP. Unless he did. Maybe, you know what it was? Hideo Kojima was there in the store. Phil was wanting that action figure. And Hideo Kojima, piece of shit that he was, as soon as Phil and Linda left, he walked up and bought the figure. That's why he hates Hideo Kojima so much. All right, okay. Yeah, he did do something to you, DSP. I take that back. But there are other people who have never done anything to DSP. And he mocks them. He shits on them. Is it wrong? Of course it is. Is it wrong that we pick on Kat? Sometimes, yeah. I can see that. But it's like, well, what? But she's available to be teased. I mean, why not? I'm not hurting her personally. I haven't driven by her work and started tossing cantaloupes at her head. I haven't done anything to her.
Hatred of these idiots, right? Because they're so upset about all the vitriol and stuff that used to be tossed.
Neo Kojima did not personally explain to him how to use rations. Yeah, he should have left it right there in the instructional guide. To Phil, this is how you do it.
In any way, shape, or form. But immediately when she started showing up in my videos, let's hate on her.
How long were Phil and Kat together before their secret wedding compared to how long him and Pamela were together? Very briefly. I think it was only 2 years.
What did she do to you?
If even that.
Nothing. That's why she's not in my content. Because since the day she stepped foot on stream, no one gave her a fair shake. Instead, it was just, let's be really fucking nasty to her. So that's why she's not in my content. That's why she's not going to be in my content. Do you understand? She doesn't want to put herself into a place where she's going to be unfairly hated on, either because of association with me or because you guys were so pissy about my ex and you transferred that hatred over
No,
her,
we didn't do that.
Right?
If anything, I kind of miss Pamela, as shitty as that is to say.
So it's that simple, all right? She has zero desire. Why? She doesn't want to put herself, her own words, why does she want to put herself in the line of fire?
He doesn't approve of any reasons
to give
people get.
ammo to just say more nasty things about her. She literally has not
need a real
said or
reason
done
to
anything
dislike
that
him. Yeah,
on the
very
internet. She
true.
purposefully has stayed away
And you
from
will
her
never
social
have a
media
real
accounts
reason,
today,
exactly.
So people can't say that she's done bad things for reason to hate on her. You understand? So
I mean, if you took the most strictest sense, you could say that she's a bad person for cheating on her boyfriend. Now, you can make a lot of concessions for that. If he is abusive, then I guess that makes sense. But you know, there's still going to be people who are that intense about it. They would say, well, you should break up with him before you start trying to hook up with another dude. You could see that as a criticism. I don't necessarily see that as a valid criticism, but it's not to me who would be saying that.
she want to do that, right? So there you go. So again, any person, literally, every time you have the question,
how's it going,
will your
Emic?
wife ever appear in your content
DSP
again?
is a public
Here's how
figure.
you
He
can
took
answer the
Cat on his
question.
platform
Talk
with
to my
intention of making
detractors
her a
and say, when
public
will they
figure,
grow
but
up?
is now getting mad about it.
Because the moment they grow up and they agree, okay, we're not going to attack Phil's wife because she has nothing to do with anything that we don't like. The moment that they agreed to that, and they would not do that, and instead they would leave her alone, she could come back to the content.
But you know that's unreasonable, DSP. You know that's not realistic. That's how you. I know you're a goddamn child, DSP. As soon as there is no toxic comments on the internet, as soon as there is no one mean on the internet, then this thing can happen. So it's never going to happen, DSP. People are always mean on the internet. It's kind of the whole point, DSP. And weren't you mean on the internet? Aren't you still mean on the internet? Aren't you going to be mean on the internet until the day that you drop dead? Of course you are. But you want everyone else to not be mean on the internet. That's not reasonable, man. It's not. Even some of the most beloved figures get shit on. Sometimes by DSP. But it happens. No one's going to say, oh, unless the internet just gets its act together, I'm not going to show up. Shut up, man.
Have they done that?
I've had people shit on me. It happens.
Every moment to try to get any piece of information about
That's what I should start doing. I'm not going to stream until everyone's nice to me on the entire planet.
Her and her personal shit and accounts. They're losers. So as long as my haters and detractors are losers,
yeah, exactly, Casper.
And stalkers, and
they're taking control.
She will not
It's supposed to be him who's taking control.
The moment that they grow up and they change for the better and they agree to not do that shit, she can come back.
Okay, well, okay. Also, how would you even test that? How would we even establish that? DSP, what we need to do as detractors, this would be kind of a funny thing to do, but I don't think I would ever get anyone on board because it's also really dumb, is we need to start a petition to Phil, and we all sign it, all the detractors, and it says, we have grown up, we don't take people out of context, and we don't shit on anybody, and we will love and respect Kat and donate money because we love her so much. And she can be part of DSP's content. And he's going to read that, see all the signatures, and say, oh, I guess the internet got its act together. Okay, Kat, you can come back on. That's not a reasonable request, DSP. How are you going to know? Well, DSP is psychic. He does know what goes on in board meetings that he wasn't even a part of. So I guess he would know if the internet got its act together. Okay. Hold on. I'll do this to myself. Damn it, it's not on the screen. Shit. Continue.
So there you go. From now on, don't ever ask me the question. And that's how I'm gonna respond from now on. Literally, from now on. If
hey man,
anyone just
that attacks my insecurities,
Phil,
Redneck Ogre. You're banned.
Come back to your content. You know what I'm gonna say? Ask the.
I agree, B. I'm gonna grow up.
That's what I'm gonna say. Ask those loserish stalkers who won't stay the fuck out of our personal lives. You ask them when they're gonna grow up and move on and get a fucking life, and when they do, she'll come back.
Dude, I'm trying to grow up, but my move keeps dropping.
Losers, stop fucking.
I'm pressing grow up. I'm pressing it.
Go back to the content.
I'm doing
Let's
the
see.
quarter circle, man. Look, I think it's a rollback netcode. I can't grow up, man.
It's direct cause and effect. There you go. Continuing on.
Oh, 1 second.
I think a replay.
All right. There's a lady here. Huh? You got hot chocolate? All right. No, I'm all right. Me too. I'm actually quite funny. I think it's
Origins
pretty
or Night
cool.
would be good and an interactive style. It would be great to watch. All right, thank you for that suggestion.
And by the way, do you think it's a reasonable request to ask that everyone on the internet be nice to you and your wife?
I mean,
I mean the entire internet? Because that's what he just...
I would hope for it, but of course.
He basically just said that once the entire internet is nice to his wife, she can come back on. So I guess she's never coming back.
Oh my god.
I keep telling you guys, suggesting random games is not going to help.
Yeah,
We've already
that's
talked
it.
About this, so I'm gonna stop reading.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Deranged, Emek.
Excuse me.
Jesus Christ.
I've
Snort
noticed
Central.
certain YouTubers opt for limited supply runs when it comes to merch.
No. You're trying to find a flaw in my argument. That's not going to work.
Drumming up demand, all without the need for a permanent merch service. Additionally, since the limited supply run only lasts for a few weeks, any attempts to sabotage would be a non-issue. The run would be over by the time the trolling could take place.
Holy shit.
I don't.
That one's going to get slow mode. Come on. We got to, and I'm going to crank up the audio too. You're all going to hear this. I'm going to try and clip the audio on this one.
Place.
Goodness gracious. He even has to do a little head shake there. I got to dislodge some of that.
I don't know about that. I don't know how it works. Yes, when I used to use Teespring, they would allow you to have a run that would be like limited to.
Holly, he should have. This is halfway joke, halfway reality. I really think if DSP spent all that money he spent on WWE Champions being a Scientologist, I really don't think he'd be having the problems he has today. Because those Scientologist lawyers, I'm not joking. I'm usually joking about this kind of shit. Those Scientologist lawyers do not fuck around. They don't. You post a video critical of Scientology, your shit is gone the next day. Imagine if DSP had that kind of power, man. If he had the Scientology lawyers, we would all be gone. I'd be getting cease and desist. I'd probably have people sending me shit. That sounds like a much better investment. Then it actually would have worked out. Then no one could have been negative to Cat. See, DSP, you made bad decisions, man.
So it would be like, oh, you can have merch that will last for 2 weeks and then the campaign closes and no one can buy the merch anymore, right? But I'll be honest. No, I don't think that would work. I think that literally the moment that I announced that any merch store was open,
I'm president. You heard the button.
Barred that business with bullshit.
Jesus.
And as much as you say, oh, it wouldn't affect it, I think it would. I think that these businesses would react within a matter of a few days. And what's to stop them from just freezing the store?
That's the EX snort. Yeah, no kidding.
Like I said, if I'm going to work with a merch company, I need to absolutely be sure they're on board, that they're not going to kowtow and bend over to a bunch of trolls trying to employ falsified...
See, again, DSP, you could have your lawyers. Okay, so you got your Scientologist lawyers, right? And they're like,
Okay, so merch company, my lawyer here has made up a contract that says you will never ever betray me, and you'll never delist me and say, Phil, we don't like your merchandise and we're gonna discontinue it. You guys have to keep me on your website forever. And even if I just start screaming slurs at the top of my lungs in the middle of Times Square, you guys have to keep me on here.
Again, not a reasonable request.
Cancel culture. Oh, we're so up in a tizzy because this content creator said this. This thing you're quoting is 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
When was the slave trade joke again?
But you act like it's today because you're trying to get me canceled for shit I did.
Slave trade joke was pretty recent.
Even back then wasn't that bad, right? Like, what are you talking about? But that's it. These companies are dumb as dirt. They just don't want to deal with any complaints. So the moment a complaint comes in, we don't want to deal with it. Cancel it, get rid of it, right? So that's what I mean. That's what would have to happen, is we'd have to work with a company that is agreeing up front, no, we're not going to listen to this bullshit from your fucking haters. Instead, we're just going to allow you to have a shop like everybody else.
The Asian girl in Lola also canceled. Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
Oh, let's do a 2-week limited run campaign and try to get the merch out.
And he could even try and make the dumbass argument of like, well, historically that was accurate. You know, my joke about Chinese women in the time period was like, okay, maybe it's historically accurate, but DSP does not have the kind of grace to make jokes about that. And even then, that's not something you joke about. You don't joke about everything that's happened in history. I don't think so. There's plenty of ethnic cleansing that's happened in history. Do I make jokes about it? Well, DSP does, because he's a maverick.
Ask before they cancel me. That's stupidity. That's stupidity. I want a company that I can work with, and I can have new designs.
Yeah, there we go. We'd have Leia Remini
flash in the pan sale
making videos about DSP.
One off the site before something happens. That's dumb. I'm not doing that.
All right.
Yeah,
your suggestion is stupid.
Actually wants to work normally.
Your suggestion is stupid. What needs to happen is I find a company that will never ever hold me accountable ever, and they sign a contract. But that's not stupid, DSP. That doesn't seem incredibly dumb to you. Okay, I didn't get a business degree.
You know.
All right.
You know, I say yes, but I don't know. Right now,
Uber Maverick.
The only companies that I found,
I get what you're saying there.
They want you to have a giant following. Like I said, I found a company, and they'll work with people, but you have to have 1 million subscribers.
Yes, DSP. You can't email Gucci asking for a sponsorship. You're DSP.
200,000 tops.
You should aim much higher.
I never will have 1 million. So I'm not of the stature or level that a company would make me immune. And all the freebie companies are a bunch of, I hate to say it, very liberal idiots who just give in to haters because they're moronic. So
they gave in to haters who looked at my sales.
Okay.
Toxic.
Okay. You could do in real life streams in Washington. In real life streams are popular. I haven't seen anyone do one in Washington yet. Do haunted streams. Seriously, people go to haunted houses to try to catch ghosts.
Why not? Oh, okay. Let's think about this for a second. Well, I'm not going to do it on my screen because that would dox me. But I was going to say, look up haunted places in your area. If you just do that on your phone, it takes, all of 5 minutes to find somewhere. And it doesn't even have to be really haunted. It doesn't matter. An abandoned Walmart, you could go there and explore it. Whatever. Who cares? That's really, really low investment. All you're really paying for is the gas to get there. You already have a phone. You could just record it and it could be shaky and blurry and no one will care. In fact, people will like it because it adds to the ambiance of, footage of the haunted pig fort, They'll like it. Can't do it. You know why DSP can't do it? It's because there might be colored people there, man. I can't be there. Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys already know, again, and we've talked about this, right?
There might be
a very good reason why I don't
Walmart Americans there.
Here's my stalkers. They're nuts. And if I were to do a stream of me going around, showing what I'm doing during a day, first of all, that's incredibly intrusive to my private life. I like to have a day a week where I'm not mixing my business with my private.
Okay. Hold on. This is already stupid, DSP. So if you go and do a IRL stream, there's no way to delay it? There's no way to have it set as a broadcast? There's no way to obscure which exact location you're at? There's no way to lie about which place you're at? There's no way to do any of this? And apparently there's a shit ton of detractors in DSP's area. They're all over the place. He's surrounded. In Aliens, when they'd have the little motion sensor in there and there's dots all over the place? Yeah, that's DSP. He's detecting detractors everywhere. So DSP can't go to a local forest because, dude, the detractors will be there in seconds. And they'll dox the forest.
You understand? I want to have that separation on purpose. So that way, we don't have to have too much crossover and too much private stuff exposed because people, fuck around. Again, I tell
How's
you
it going, taking L's?
I keep telling you the same examples.
Welcome to the clown show.
Happened, but the perfect example here, okay? Years and years ago.
Okay.
I'm in my kitchen, and I'm filming a vlog in my kitchen with my old
he's going to do this again. God damn it, no.
Anymore, okay? And as I'm doing this vlog
the coffee
in my kitchen,
thing.
There accidentally was a statement, sitting on my countertop.
That you held up?
A week after I released the video, I received an email. Oh, so thank you for your request to turn off your power. Your power will be turned off on Monday. What?
Okay. So when I did my stream where I did the DSP style unboxing of the Armored Core 6 Collector's Edition, one of the things I did before doing the video was I scouted around my house, everywhere really, to see if I had any mail lying out, anything that would identify me, any addresses, any insurance cards, anything. And it took me roughly 5 minutes to do a search of the house and found nothing. I did find one thing and I put that away. I correct myself. And then during the thing, I found a box that had a lot of the label kind of like deteriorated and pulled away, and I put that into frame. So I was like, okay, that'll be good, because you really can't make anything else. So kind of like you could mess with it that way and make it look like hold on, I'm not doxing myself. 5 minutes of work. 5 minutes of work. I can't do it. And DSP would even have less time because he has less surface area. So it's not his fault for being too lazy to hide his personal information. It's your fault for looking at it. And also, for the record, he held it up to the camera. DSP's face that he has right now is my face. I'm like, dude, what? No, you held it up.
I called the company. Yeah, we got your request to turn off your power. I didn't request to turn off your power, but we just had a phone
conversation. Yeah, he said he would beat their ass if they showed up.
He said you want your power turned off.
Go ahead and shut up, I'll kick your ass.
This is what I mean. Just a statement sitting on my countertop. All right? Having the name of my electric company on it.
That was your fault.
Someone calls the electric company, gives them my basic information.
That was your fault.
The electric company is dumb as dirt. Social engineering, they believe it, and they were going to turn my fucking power off. If I didn't have email notifications set up, I would have had no power.
That would have been
How long it would
hilarious.
have taken to turn it back on.
That would have been really funny.
And this is what fucked up people do.
Fucked up people look at the thing that you showed in video. Okay.
Doing my stuff. I'm going grocery shopping. I go to the pet store. Imagine these fuckers following this on the internet. They'd put in prank calls. They'd put in all kinds of shit to try to fucking cause problems.
They already did that.
Poseidon and other people like that. They do the same thing to me. Why would I put myself into that level of personal risk for what? To do an IRL stream with 1,000
Abandoned Walmart? There could be stationary ghosts there, dude.
Right?
Yeah, never mind.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Goes to black people past.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't do it.
And again,
it's harder than it seems, DSP. And again, if you set a delay, you can set delays in your stream to be what, 30 minutes off? I think you can do that. I think there's systems that enable that. He could do so much to fix this problem or prevent this problem. Can't do it. I can't do it. Because also, how does that factor into the whole going to haunted areas thing? I don't know if you can call in. Hey, thanks for the subscription, Redneck Ogre. Sorry about the toxicity. I don't know if you can call in a prank call to a forest. I mean, I guess you could call like a forest ranger or something. Say, hey, forest ranger, there's a dangerous pig running around. Okay, that's kind of funny. But at the same time, I think the ranger is going to know better. So, no, this still doesn't work. And also, what about an abandoned Walmart? Let's go back to that idea, abandoned Walmart. You can't prank call the abandoned Walmart. It's kind of an interesting feature of it.
that example, the reason that I keep
prank calls the Total Wine.
Is because that's something that happened many
do
years
you have a pig there running
the
around?
Example. People have absolutely positively tried a million things to fuck with me.
Exactly, Rum. That's not social engineering to read the information that's shown on
burns
screen.
on more bad actions. You understand? So yeah,
Two-factor identification. What is two-factor identification? I don't know what that means. What is that? Two factors? Identifying. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
DSP React Suggestions, a pop culture podcast about movies, TV, and books in place of the Level 1 podcast every Sunday.
He kind of already does that.
I don't think I watch enough movies, read enough TV, or excuse me, I don't think I watch enough movies or TV or read enough books to do a podcast about it. Just being honest. It's not a matter of doing a podcast. It's a matter of all the time investment that would go into running that show. I would have.
Well, that's definitely a new clone. Let me update that first before I get into that. This dude has confirmed that he is essentially glued to media. Remember when the internet went out? And he was advised to do stuff with his wife. And remember his response? Dude, there's no internet. What am I going to do with my wife? So this dude is glued to media. So there's not really any time investment. All he really has to do is kind of just watch some shows that are popular. And he doesn't even have to pay attention. You just kind of have him on in the background, pay attention every once in a while, and give his thoughts about it. It's actually really easy, DSP. This is probably the easiest suggestion you've been given. Because you're already technically doing the things you need to do. Can't do it.
Have to watch a significant amount of stuff every week to have something to talk about, right?
Yeah, this is really
and that's
sad.
the problem. Is right now I just don't have the time.
DSP thinks two-factor
I
ideas.
haven't even had the time the last week to film that review.
I remember that. Nightcrawler fought them.
Invincible Season 1. I watched it last week. I'm ready to go. I just don't have time to do it tonight. After my stream, I have to set up my playlist for tomorrow's react show. Don't have time to film. Tomorrow night, I have to...
He also didn't understand the question. He could have just done it instead of his normal pre-stream. Instead of getting on stream and talking about his helicopter job and talking about Jasper puking all over the floor and talking about Kat also puking all over the floor and how this also reminds him about his helicopter job, he could have just talked about Supernatural. Can't do it. It's too hard, man.
The private react videos for my patrons for the month. I don't have time to film. You know what I mean? Like, when you're already here all day, every day, I have so little free time as it is outside
Reading,
of
watching
this
movies,
office.
TV, listening to music, that all shit he'd be doing for work while not getting money.
Every day I
Yeah,
run a podcast.
that's, you're right.
Every day,
He needs to
I
charge
do
for it.
major streams. If you add up all the time I put into there, I'm working 10 to 12 hours a day. All right? Already.
No.
Now you got to factor in time to food, time to do things around the house, but it's time my family. Now you got to factor in time to food, 12 hours a day. All right? Already. Now you got to factor in time to food.
Food. Is food a verb? I don't have to look it up. I don't think food is a verb.
Time to do things around the house, but it's time for my family. It's time for sleep. When do I have time to do more shit? I'm one man. I'm one man.
I can't have a team watch this TV show.
I appreciate that people would want to see me do a pop culture show. I don't have time to do it. The only way I could do another show is cutting something else out. So what gameplay do you want me to cut out a week to have time to watch pop culture stuff to do a pop culture podcast?
Also, he's still missing an idea that could solve this. How many times in this stream, or in my streams in general, do we discuss pop culture? We discussed Ed, Edd, and Eddy earlier in this stream. DSP could definitely have discussions about pop culture. We give him shit all the time about liking stuff in the 80s and 90s, but the only reason why it's obnoxious to me is that he talks about it with himself. If he brought it... Okay, this goes into some stupid territory. Guess, okay? Just stick with me for a little bit. If he had guests on and he just talked about the 80s with them, I think people would enjoy that. Because then you could have you have an old man discussion. Remember back in the 80s when you could just say stationary Frogger all day and people loved you? You could say that. And when it's a bunch of dudes talking about it, it's a lot of fun. I try and get Rankins to do that with me, talk about Toonami all week, but, he's busy. But that's pop culture, isn't it? No, can't do it. I have to watch Supernatural.
Right? Okay. More long-form reacts. React to stuff that can be covered in a normal stream, not a marathon.
What?
So you're saying react to like a video, like maybe an hour video, and my react to take 2-3 hours and do it as one stream. So
yeah, that's true as well, Richard.
I think that
he still talks about Ghostbusters as though we just saw it the other day.
Because we limit myself.
I like Ninja Turtles. Raphael was the best, even though he created 80% of the problems.
Clips. We can never really watch anything long form. I can never really watch a documentary or anything. And that's why we were doing the marathons, we were doing the long-form react shows, and they were working, but then when we did them, they took away from the streaming, and people complained, oh, you're not streaming games enough. You're too behind on games, you're not doing enough game-related stuff. So I stopped doing them. Like, I stopped doing
so you bent to their demands. Okay.
Year, as people were complaining,
Donatello was cool. I like Donatello.
As much as that.
Donatello was my second favorite.
So,
Leonardo was my least favorite. Leonardo was shit.
This is hilarious. Motorized fans, as you take a 3-hour break between streams. So let me get this straight.
Uh-oh.
My stream goes off at 4 p.m. That just means it's immediately break time, right?
Yep.
I'm not sitting in here uploading all those videos, setting up the next streams. I don't get out of this office till after 4:30. Then I go downstairs, I eat dinner with my wife, all right? Then essentially I'll sit there maybe for like a half an hour and relax with my wife, maybe clean up the house. And then I'm up here by around 6, setting up the next stream.
That's not true.
So I basically get a 1-hour break.
That's not true. DSP, because we've seen it with DSP streams, he has, on innumerable occasions, been more or less caught just dicking around in his room. How many times do you see this dude goofing around in chat and kind of clowning, looking at stuff on his phone, going to go pee, gonna go brush his teeth, gonna go get some water, gonna go get coffee? This dude does not, he wants to believe that. He wants to believe that he is constantly at work. And I think that's the thing of all people, really. I think we all want to pretend like we're just working constantly. I'll admit it. At my job, I feel like there's vast periods of time where I'm just doing jack and or shit. And I'll admit it. DSP doesn't want to admit it. He doesn't want to admit that there's periods in his day where he's just sitting there on his ass, picking at his head, looking at his phone all day. So, because he doesn't want to admit it, that means that, dude, I'm working like 12 hours a day, man. No, that's empirically false.
Between streams. 1 hour is what I get between streams. You think I get a 3-hour break?
Eats dinner at
That's
4:30 p.m. That's it.
You don't live the life. You're just a complete fucking mouth drooler moron.
Oh, shit.
Who wants to belittle. Just like the idiot who says I run a 3-hour podcast. You're also a moron. All these fucking idiots who just
See, we're just finding morons. This was all part of the
the
trick. Find a bunch of morons and ban them.
Everything you say is incorrect, but you circle jerk yourselves into believing
Oh,
this
wow.
stuff is fact. It's not. You're
Your
moronic.
circle jerk
You're
is
really
incorrect.
stupid.
Get a
I'm sorry
circle
for
jerk
not
that's
being
correct,
smart. I have a
idiots.
family to have to put up with you. Okay, patron reaction should be uploaded to the channel. That I cannot do. When someone gets a private react, it's their legal property.
This is, I will give him this. This is at least decent, I think.
My Patreon.
He's only being
And you
decent
get a
like
private
this
video,
on
whether it's a
accident,
Q&A
though.
video, a react video, whatever it is. That's your legal property.
I work
You
a
do
lot.
whatever
I
you
will
want with it. I don't
bulkheads,
have the
but I
right
go
to
to
own
my
that.
plate.
You
Yeah.
bought it. So I don't have the right to do that.
You want to be chill and play
with
Magic?
that.
Well, don't use the
Okay?
Magic cards that I made for DSP. Don't use those. Those are toxified.
Okay, one last thing, and then we'll get to shout-outs.
If you want to see those,
Use
look
a
on my
simple
community post.
on-screen promo
Uh-oh.
to easily promote engagement of the channel. Let me see
No.
what this is because I didn't see it.
Yeah, that's a no. That's a hard no.
So essentially, the upvote symbol, subscribe.
Yeah,
and
you'll
bell.
enjoy them.
Okay.
Check them out. There's 5 brand new
Link to the
ones that you
file
could
on
hopefully
Google Drive
convince
in the
your
video
friends to
description. You
use.
can load the video into OBS, use the green screen feature to remove the background, and play this video at the beginning of each YouTube recording you do. Similar to how you manually play the tip animations, and play this video at the beginning of each YouTube recording you do. Similar to how...
Dude, that's unprofessional as hell, man. That's so gross. Imagine you're at a business, right? And you're talking to the dude, right? And this dude burps during, you know, hey man, where do I get, I'm trying to find those bolts that have like little spikes on them so they kind of stick into the wall. They're back at aisle 6. I'm like, man, dude, you got cancer or something? What the hell's wrong with you? Well, Todd might be able to help you. Goddamn, dude. Look, I think I can look for him myself. Just sit here and chill. You sound like you're about to die.
you manually play the tip animations, except you only do this once per
Can we
hour.
buy them? No, they're for free. Anybody can have them.
Without having to load your videos into an editor.
I don't charge for those. I had too much fun. I want to see people use them.
I'll just click it to have it run on a video that I'm already recording. I mean, I could do that. Does it really help? When you see, right now, if a big thumbs up appeared and a big subscribe button appeared in the corner, would you subscribe or click like? Or should I just say, hey guys, if you like the content, please remember, give it a like. Please remember, you know, maybe become a member of the channel. That helps. Consider subscribing. I don't really see the effectiveness of it, especially because everyone does.
But this is, again, something DSP is not noticing, is that people are actually trying to help him. Because he talks about all the time about how he doesn't want to do all this begging stuff. He doesn't want to tell people all the time, hey man, like and subscribe. Hey, share and donate. He doesn't want to do that. But if you outsource it to an image, what's the problem with that? Because then in that way, DSP, you're saving your own, I guess, you know, you can conserve energy. Although DSP is running at the most conserved energy I've ever seen in a person. You know, you could just outsource it to a machine, you know? You could have the machine beg for you. And we've already seen this happen. You have Nightbots begging for you in stream chat. I don't know. That doesn't really make any sense to me.
Does it? You know what I mean? Like, if this were an idea where not a lot of people did it, but since literally every other fucking YouTuber
Everyone does
that
this
at this
thing.
point,
Everyone is more
I feel
successful
like it
than me.
wouldn't be
I won't do that
effective.
thing.
You know
right.
what I mean?
Because I have to be successful
it's not
for
really
it
an
to work.
original thing anymore. It's something, if you watch other YouTubers, almost every other YouTuber does it, right? So I don't know how effective it would be. You're right. It's easy. Like you said, I could probably get that video clip. I think the person actually even linked it in the suggestion.
Can you just send it to me and set it up on my
You know,
OBS for me? Because I can't really be
hit the button,
bothered.
I guess here on my OBS, and it would play in the corner or whatever. I mean, that's up
You
to
could set
guys.
it for a
Really,
timer so you don't even have to
think
press the button,
I
DSP.
think, the way I see it, I've been around for 15 years.
Oh, damn.
right?
This again.
And I have an established viewer base, and yes, we get people who come by. Most people who come by to check me out already know about me, you know? And a lot of people are already here just to be curious, is what people say about Phil true? And a lot of people say, no, it's not. Right? So
I
already
don't know
you're
about
already
that,
here
sir.
With that investigative, inquisitive feeling, you're already apt to probably become a subscriber or click a like. If you know, you're already here for that, right? It's not like, oh, I was just randomly searching on YouTube.
If that's true, why does he bring it up then? If everyone already knows about liking and subscribing and donating and participating and all that shit, why does he bring it up? It's... Can you help me out here, Vault Tech Rep?
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, never mind. I get it. DSP is a blue-collar worker. He doesn't want to outsource his job to a machine. Okay, DSP, I understand. That makes sense.
Discovered DSP Gaming on a whim, and I don't know who they are. Oh, look, I'm being reminded that maybe I should subscribe if I like this video.
You say that.
My video, because my channel's been around for so long, you know?
I count that as a new clone. He forgot that he does that.
But I guess we'll see, right? It's up to you guys. What do you think? So anyway, that's going to conclude our suggestion segment for this stream.
Yes, be the most original or nothing.
Let me know what
and
you think
also,
about
this
the
originality
suggestions.
can't use
And
any
if you
work.
guys think any of those are good, that anything we should implement or could implement, let me know. All right?
Oh my goodness, this was exhausting. The one about the tournament,
Okay.
though, was pissing me off, though. I'm
Let's get
glad
the
we got
tips.
past that one.
But there's no YouTube side things. There's no super chats.
That's it? That's the end of the suggestions? Alright. Yeah, man. Well, I've still got a few minutes to kill. Let's see if I can find
Well, let me tell you something.
So, Snort Hogan did one of these that I wanted to watch. Which one was it? This one. The cope about... We'll watch this and then it'll end it.
Well, let me tell you something.
About 35 minutes. I'll try not to pause too much.
Snort, Hogan. Drip, snort. I got the drip. Go.
Before we get to anything, all right? Let's address
Exactly,
the
Mac.
elephant in the room very
Well, it's
quickly.
up to you to
All right?
figure out
I've
why
already
you guys
told
love me
this.
so
I'm
much.
going to say it again. I'm not involving myself in any drama whatsoever. At all. All right? It's sad that I have to keep reiterating this. Because every day, I get people who keep bringing up drama. Whether it's in my stream chat, whether it's they're sending me emails or video comments or tweeting me and saying drama. Hey, Phil, drama. Drama. Okay? It just seems like more and more people, all right, want to pull me into their drama for various reasons. And
You know how I know that's bullshit? Is because this dude is obsessed with finding out what people think about him. And one of my biggest proofs of that being true is the fact that he banned me on Twitter and I never said anything to this dude. So this dude definitely either seeks people out to ban or block or seeks out drama to find out who's creating the drama or doesn't mind that people feed that information to him. Because if he truly was not interested in the drama, why was I blocked? I've been a very well-respectful individual. I haven't said anything about your mayor. So that's not true, DSP. And that's never been true. This dude has always been glued to what people are saying or thinking at any given time. I think he only ever says this whole segment about how I don't want to be part of any drama because it's a way of pretending like he's not as involved as he is. Because that's just not true.
in reality, I am
I'm
someone
so
who,
going
for
to
the
use those. I'm a
majority
mono black
of the
player,
time
and of course
that I
you need
made
black
content
power
on
at
the
all
internet,
costs.
15 years,
Exactly.
I've tried to stay out of other people's
He's
drama.
done with that shit,
I
man.
don't
And you all should
go
respect that
on
he's going to be
giant,
sacrificing you.
slam-based content shows. I don't do giant
How's it going,
react
Darksy?
specials making fun of people.
He blocked you on Twitter as
You know
well.
what I'm saying?
I
Even
didn't
the
say
react
anything to
stuff
this
that I've
dude.
done,
I'm mad
way
about
more
that still.
level-headed than most people. I'm not just sitting there laughing at someone's misfortunes. I'm trying to analyze what's going on and compare it to my own situation and maybe give some insight and advice. It's a little different than what a lot of other people do, right?
What has DSP's advice been?
Now,
Just
recently,
be popular and
there's been
famous?
drama that people are trying to pull me into. All right? You guys don't even know, because here's the thing. I don't tell you guys because you don't need to know. But there is people out there who are constantly trying to pull me into drama on purpose because they feel that they can benefit from it, right? If Phil leaves a soundbite on his show, or if he brings something up, or, you know, just what was it, yesterday? Someone had talked about this, a new documentary about me.
You're not respectful. Huh? If you
And
want
I'm
to be
like, well, I haven't
respectful
seen
towards
it.
DSP,
I
you
have no
want to
desire
talk
to see
about.
it,
Damn it, you're right. You
know?
got me.
And then someone says, well, the title is very negative. And I'm like, well, then obviously I'm not interested. It's the difference between someone trying to do like a neutral documentary or someone trying to get clickbait, right? So I don't know.
What's the difference?
I don't really care, right?
What's the difference?
And actually, last night
I'll tell you the difference is. The difference is if it hurts my feelings. That's the difference. The truth is only the truth if it doesn't hurt my feelings. Spoken like a true despot. Very good. I like it.
Okay.
I should start applying that.
And someone said to me, you know, that they had seen the documentary and they actually felt
He's
like,
glued to
although there
Twitter, you
was a lot of
say.
making
Why did
fun
he
of me
get
and
the
stuff
glue,
in it,
Lynn?
that it
Where
was
did he get
more
the... Oh,
level-headed,
God.
it was kind of fair, and I'm like, you know, that's fine. That's the case.
Shit, I incriminated my boy Phil. I have no idea what you're talking about. I never said glue.
Have to be clickbait, right?
I meant to say he's through with Twitter.
You need the clickbait drama to bring people to watch crap. I'm sorry, it's just the case. It's the reason why you have entire channels on YouTube based on negative documentaries, and you have absolutely no YouTube channels based on 100% positive content. Did you notice that?
That's because that's not really a thing, DSP.
Side of that there's tons of drama, tons of negative stuff. There's no all positive stuff.
But if that existed, he would hate it. Because this dude has been a broken record about this since the very beginning of his existence, really. That there is no such thing as always good. That there is no such thing as always positive. That everything has a negative element or negative component. Life isn't black and white, you know. Everything has shades of gray. Now this dude is here asking for YouTube channels to have nothing but positive content. Like DSP Gaming, I assume? What's a channel full of positive content? My channel. Thanks DSP for the shout out. I love you, man.
Humans love drama, right? And it's sad, but that's just the case. So make it sound dramatic. Do use clickbait. Say all negative things. Emphasize.
Make people interested in watching the video. You know, really sick shit.
And I've been around for 15 years. I get it, but that doesn't mean that I have to involve myself in it. Okay, especially when, as I've told you guys, and
why does he cut his cam off all of a sudden? Because some of the clones have been dying. We had to drag him off the chair.
The statement I'm about to say, okay, and that's fine because they don't have to. Because I'm not saying it for them. I'm saying it for me. I am happier right now.
Then why are you saying it for you if you're saying it out loud?
Than I have ever been before.
Okay.
Okay, and I mean
all right.
I'm saying this on the internet. I'm happy.
I used to be much bigger on YouTube because I used to be synonymous with YouTube gaming and one of the biggest gamers on YouTube. And you would search for a new video game playthrough and DSP or DSP gaming would pop up.
Okay. I gotta consult Mrs. Durang's chair. You've been on YouTube for a while. You've used YouTube for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me as well. I first got introduced to YouTube finding Rama 1/2 music videos. I found it very confusing. I was like, oh, yeah, there's a whole website where you can watch videos. This is pretty sweet. I've never heard about DSP gaming as synonymous with gaming content on YouTube ever. That's never been. I had to be told about this dude like fourth hand. I don't know how this dude can think that.
Just because that doesn't happen anymore doesn't mean
repeating the same phrase over and over is a soothing method to try and convince yourself of something, like saying you're happy when you're not. Exactly. You know, DSP is a product of trauma after all.
This isn't happening. This isn't happening. This isn't happening.
I had passion, and I wanted to share that passion with an audience, but I didn't take it seriously. You know, I made YouTube videos for.
I didn't take it seriously. I banned everyone on the spot.
Why? Because it was a fun hobby for me.
This is a hobby where I ban people. That was the hobby, not the gaming. The gaming was inconsequential. Banning people's the hobby. Get them out of here.
Their own experiences and sharing their own passion for them as well.
Toss their asses out.
Positive community.
That was a bouncer, an internet bouncer.
Now, what I saw over the years, that community went away. That positivity on YouTube turned into a toxic community of people who are just there to tear you down, people who are there to laugh at you rather than laugh with you.
No, again, we're
changed over the last 15 years. Those first 3 to 5 years were very positive.
Mrs. Derange, get out of that house. That place is toxic.
Downhill slope of a lot of toxic people flooding to the site.
No, see, here's what actually happened. Again, of course, DSP's narrative completely exonerates him from responsibility. What happened for DSP was that people did try. People still try to this day to try and be gentle in telling him positive feedback, telling him how to change things. And DSP reacts now as he always had, showing them the door. There were tons of people on YouTube back in the original days of DSP, and I only know about it from all the records that are kept about it, where people were telling DSP, hey man, maybe you should move to direct capture. Maybe you should, upgrade your quality. And you know what he did? He did his hobby, being a bouncer. He tossed their asses out. So if you toss out every single good person, every single person who's trying to help you, who do you think is going to be left? People who don't care if you change and people who want to shit on you. You, DSP, this guy right here, Chip Zaniff is pointing to him right now. This dude right up here is why he had no positive elements on the internet. Because he showed every single one of them the door.
Now, during that time period, all right, I lost pretty much all of my popularity. But
lack of evolution means you'll be left behind in a constantly changing environment. Yeah, and like all scrubs, he just wants the environment to change to suit him.
Or was it because I stayed true to myself, and by design, I kept making the kind of content that I liked, and because of that, I fell out of prominence with.
Yeah, that's it, DSP. The one that exonerates you. That's the one.
In the last 10 years, all right, I went from.
Was I a bad person, or was I just like misunderstood?
Well, obviously the misunderstood.
Let's all make fun of him, and then an obsessed community of people who just want to completely try to ruin my life to get lulz out of it. Hence the lol cow community. As much as they like to call me a lol cow, they're the community of messed up people that are.
Oh yeah, I'm sick in the head, dude.
I've ever said or done in my career.
Down here in my padded cell.
The things that they do, and they think that that's justifiable, right? So here's the thing: am I much less popular today than I was 10 years ago?
Easily.
Absolutely. No, I don't even get not even close to 1 million views a month anymore.
You've gone from obscure to ultra obscure.
I'm at like 600,000 views, something like that. I mean,
translation of money dried up. Yeah, exactly. People weren't paying up anymore, man.
You know what I mean? Like for me,
what the hell's wrong with you guys?
It's not a measure of popularity. It's a measure of enjoyment, and if what I'm doing has meaning for my audience, and being okay with what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
for example, the content that I put out 10, 15 years ago, I would not like today. You know, the stuff I used to do, the kind of commentary I used to do, all that stuff, I hated it. Now, I look at it and I cringe. But that's what was popular 10, 15 years ago. People wanted that immature, over-the-top, sexualized, generalized racist stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that you would consider it racist.
Oh, yeah, we had
about race. Back
Did you hear that? Listen to this. DSP had to debunk himself mid-sentence because he accidentally admitted to saying racist things, but actually it wasn't racist. So, you know, don't get any stupid ideas about saying I admitted to being racist.
Sexualized, generalized racist stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right here. The eyes closed. Oh, shit. What did I just say?
Not to say that you would consider it racist.
Ah, there we go. Never mind.
Joke about race. Back then it was accepted. Today it's not. Right? So, when you take a look
almost
at
admitted my fault there.
in perspective,
Managed to dial that one back.
Today, I'm much smaller. I make way less money. This
Yeah,
is all true.
he does.
And the
He
majority of
always
people who know me on the
overestimates how
internet
popular
know me
he
for
is.
negative
He
means
overestimates it
that people
now.
hate me with over the last 5 to 10 years. All of those statements are true. So if you wanted to say Darkside Phil is in a state of decline, you're correct. That is a factual
Yes.
statement.
Yeah, it's because these jerks aren't paying
If you
up.
want to say Darkside Phil is a failure, there's no factual justification to make that statement.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
that's pretty much how I found DSP.
Than I ever
I found him from
outside of me
LTG.
having a more receding hairline here, as you can see, because I'm getting older and there's nothing I can really do about that.
Yeah, there's nothing I
Outside
can do
of
about that. I can't get hair plugs, man. I'm
weigh
broke.
less, right? I have less health problems, right? I
Jesus, you're a fucking loser.
Drink all the time and treat my body like a terrible way. I don't do that
Yeah, I
anymore,
saw that,
right?
Pika.
I eat my
I kind of...
I'm happily married.
Okay, I'm gonna be real about that, Pika. I agree that it's kind of bullcrap that Mortal Kombat won over Street Fighter, but I don't really see how it's fair for DSP to offer any sort of criticism of that because DSP shit all over Street Fighter. So, what? Just because you and I are agreeing on something, DSP, does not mean I agree with you, if that makes any sense.
I have a great home life, which I wish I could spend more time with my wife and my cat.
Cat?
You know, and on top of all of that, all right, I am happier today with the content that I put out than I ever was before. When I sit down with you guys
Really?
every day and we have this fun podcast and we have a react show and we have gameplay streams of various different
You
kinds,
like your
we have
content,
anime-based
DSP.
gameplay stream of multiplayer,
I mean, I guess
where
that's
we
noble
choose
that you
to
do
interact,
still
talk
like
about
yourself,
different
but
styles
I
of
think
games.
you should
No matter
definitely
what content
reassess
I'm
that feeling.
I'm happy doing it. I'm actually
Okay.
having a great time. And people tell me there's a meaning behind that despite the fact that I'm not Mr.
I didn't
Popular
even
on
bother to
YouTube
vote on the Game
I never
Award
will be
things.
again, because the kind of content that I
Because
put out
unlike
is not
DSP,
in line
I'm
with
committed to
what
not caring about it.
YouTube wants the drama, the clickbait, the viral stuff, play the hot new
I'm
game,
just glad
jump
people
in
like the
with all
games that they
humor
like. That
and
should be
silly,
enough, right?
nonsensical, immature content and pranks and all this crap. Just keep talking nonsense about people and you will be popular, right? I don't want to do any of that. I never wanted to because for me it never.
Can someone help me to understand this? I legitimately don't know, so I wanted to ask you. For anyone who watches Mr. Beast, is that Mr. Beast's thing? Does he get popular off of shitting on people? Did PewDiePie get popular off of shitting on people? I don't think so. Did Dr. Disrespect kind of did. But a lot of these content creators didn't get really big and huge from shitting on people. In fact, that's one of the ways to ensure your failure is to shit on people. So I don't know what he's talking about here. I don't think that's true. But
It was about being YouTube popular. I stumbled accidentally upon YouTube popularity. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't
yeah, I got kind of annoyed by
It
that
just
too,
kinda
Game
happened.
Master.
And then after doing that for about 5 years,
I just
got
don't think
tired of
that's
it. I
really
wanted to
right. But
change. I told you by like
you know,
2016,
no one ever consults me on anything.
I was burnt out. I didn't even want to do the kind of content anymore, which is why I started a whole new channel called KO Gaming.
He did?
And I tried to do something different.
Well, did he at least do a tastefully intelligent counterspell? You know, kind of like a mild roast?
The last 6 years of content I put out, I guess at this point almost 7 years, has been way more meaningful in my opinion than anything I did beforehand. And that's the God's honest truth.
Yeah, exactly. When was Max ever engaged
So,
in that kind of stuff?
For me, I'm enjoying everything. And I have a viewer base.
I think
that
this is
likes what
very
I do.
true, Nepo,
Sure,
baby.
it's much,
I very
much
much
smaller
think that's
than what I
true.
used to do, correct? But
I brought that up on the
at least
DSP Psychology
people are
stream,
happy
is that he's
with
still
the
trying to
game,
prove
they
his
like
mom
the
wrong.
content, They watch the content and they support the content, correct? So that's the truth, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 people who really like your stuff or 1 million people who kind of like your stuff because you're popular and they just casually watch it. It's all the same. As long as you're happy with what you're doing.
Then why do you shit on them for that, DSP? If it's all the same, why do you shit on them? Why are they less than you if it's all the same?
I'm not striving to.
It's
be
like
a
Animal
giant
Farm.
YouTube
We're all
success or
equal,
anything
but I'm
like that.
somehow more equal.
All right, and I hope you understand that. Now, earlier this year, with all this toxic nonsense about me all over the internet,
Mhm.
I
Okay, I'll
chose to
follow.
do an interview. All right, and I shouldn't have because I told you guys I'd actually decided not to do it, and then I kind of got goaded into one, which that's my fault. All right, and although the interview served its purpose, which
What was the purpose?
if you ever want to hear about any of that nonsense and my answers to the nonsense, watch the interview. My
And
answers
you
never
watch
really
me
changed
be
because those are my answers,
unsatisfactory
truth.
with my
I
answers.
spoke it during the interview, and if you don't believe it, you don't have to. But that's what I had to say about those nonsensical topics. And
In a roundabout way, DSP is kind of right about that, though. About the interview serving as it nice freeze frame there, as his final answer to the accusations, because that's really about as good as he's ever going to do. That interview is the height of his ability to justify his behaviors. So I guess he's kind of right. If you want to kind of end the discussion from there, you kind of can.
done talking about it. And in
Yeah, he had a dream about that. That's where I think God intercepted there. God sent that dream. He said, "Don't worry, this will all be really funny."
At least the interview exists, and it's done.
Guys, I had an epiphany.
Right?
I'm going to embarrass myself on the internet again.
Bringing that shit up anymore. We're going to be able to relax. We're going to be able to enjoy gameplay. You know what I'm saying? And we had a good year. A lot of that drama stuff went away.
For some reason, when God told me to go on side scrollers, I could have sworn I heard him giggling a little bit.
Branch out a little bit. People have been telling me for years, why don't you do like a podcast with other YouTubers and stuff? And I had an opportunity where I was contacted by other YouTubers. I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me to say, hey, would you like to do a podcast show? And I said, yeah, I'd be interested in it. And we never really talked specifics or anything about it. And then what happens? It blows up in my face. Somehow I get to be made out to be like a villain or something.
No one made you out to be a villain, DSP.
I was just in talks about possibly doing a show.
No. That's not really true. DSP wasn't really made out to be a villain in that interview. I think the best thing that you could say about DSP being made out to be was just incredibly stupid and incredibly short-sighted. You could see that with how DSP was just utterly unequipped to have a conversation. Those two hosts were basically walking up and down his ass because he had no answers. He wasn't made to be a villain. Yeah, and he messaged Boogie. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
They decided to go a different way because they wanted to make money, right? I didn't make that decision. They did. You know?
You said
So,
they could make money,
had nothing
DSP.
to
You
do
said
with
that
me,
was perfectly
but yet,
fine.
Constantly being tried to pull into the vortex, constantly talking about me, constantly trying to say shit about me, right? To goad me to say things. This is what these people do because they have nothing else to do. They have no content. They have no validity to anything they do.
Oh man, I don't have any validity to things I do. Shit.
Get it? So they don't have a fan base of people who actually like find meaning. It's just
Exactly, Silent Weapons. He was utterly unequipped.
Right? It is this whole. It really is the lol cow.
And I think that's another reason why he got so
cause problems
reactive
with
to
people
it,
so we
because
can
he
laugh
saw
at
how
people,
naked he was.
Right? I don't know how that's valid. I don't know why that's allowed on YouTube, but it is. It seems to me like pretty toxic, damaging, very harmful content. But it's allowed constantly for some reason. And I hate to say it, but you know, people keep trying to pull me in, and this year.
DSP during the interview talked about how censorship was wrong. DSP wants censorship. He does. He just wants censorship for everyone who's being mean to him. I agree, DSP.
Have done my absolute best to resist, right? I've done my after that interview. I was like, that's it. I'm not going to involve myself or.
I do allow free speech. You can freely praise me. That's allowed.
People into this anymore. After that
You
interview,
can't say I'm the greatest. I will allow this.
From my audience, telling me, please don't do this stuff anymore. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to have anything to do with this because we like watching your positive content.
We love your
like
positive
watching
content,
fun
Phil.
Stuff.
I'm using
right?
my freedom of
That's what we want.
speech to
We want
praise you.
gameplay. We want you reacting to fun clips from the internet. We want, chill streams.
Fun clips like the
to
9/11
hear about
clips?
how the next
I
person
don't know if
insulting
that's
you, how
fun.
You have to insult them back, and this personal insult about behind the scenes shit. None of
This
this
is the
matters.
bad part, though.
I mean,
He knew the
and
deal
I
before the interview
still
began.
feel
He
so
yes,
bad
exactly.
because I know from, like, the
He
months
knew what he
before
was getting
this
into.
This was all drama.
But I've brought this up so many times. DSP will look right at a trap,
season,
step in it,
right?
and get
It wasn't
confused.
until I'd say when Street Fighter 6 came out in June that finally we got that momentum back.
DSP would walk headfirst into a shotgun trap and be confused why his leg was blown off.
Right?
Dude, what the
Now, every once in a
fuck?
while,
Where'd my leg
oh
go?
no, someone made a documentary about Phil. Oh no, someone's trying to talk shit about Phil on a show and all this and all that. All right, I commit to you. All right, I commit to all of you. I am going to do my absolute best to stay out of nonsense. So,
That's
it's
already
simple,
been broken.
all right?
That's already
Don't
done.
bring it up because I have nothing to say about any of their drama.
Exactly,
or their
Mac.
crap. The reason
Everyone else
that
can be
they're
trusted
trying
unless
to
they're talking
talk
shit about me.
is to get
Then they're pretty
a rise out of
suspect.
me, which then in turn gives them more content. You understand? They want to find something.
Yeah,
that they think
it's
is
true,
going
Sonic.
to get
Let
my
me
goat,
update it.
is going to incense me, is going to get me so angry or agitated, right? That then I'm going to respond in a negative way, and I'm going to give them the attention they want because it's a vicious circle. If I respond, now they have something else to talk about.
But aren't you doing that right now?
To respond to. And again, that's exactly what happened with this.
That's what you're doing right now.
With that interview. They made a really toxic.
This right here. This is all you need to know to understand how this is always going to fail for this dude. Because a lolcow is someone who makes constant content with how much of a goddamn asshole they are, with how much of a dumbass they are. Most people, when this kind of thing would happen, they would just ignore it. But DSP can't ignore it. It hurts him too much. So that's why he has to do segments where he says, I'm officially ignoring it. But if he was officially ignoring it, this right here would not exist.
Negative show the day after the interview, and it worked because not only
I don't know, Shader Gamer. I'm not trying to get too excited about that. It's probably going to be nothing. Unless it's DSP's hairdresser, then I'll get excited.
Poke him again. Let's keep poking him and see if we can get him to say
Yeah,
something.
Phil's probably started already, Wes, and I'm not restreaming him tonight. I'm done with Mario. That shit's done.
Someone had casually mentioned to me something about the interview again, and I had mentioned it again or whatever. That day, Stuttering Craig sat on his stream. He had no content to do that day. Nothing. So instead, he sat on his stream and said, I'm going to sit on my stream until Darkside Phil invites me to his show. What? First of all, when do I have guests on any of my shows? It was a gameplay stream day for me. I hadn't spoken to him. Why would he be on my show? But you see what I mean? And guess what? Idiots showed up to watch him sit there and do nothing. That's what I mean. They literally
You can't be that stupid.
Can give these people attention. You understand? Which is hilarious because I'm nobody. I'm not a big prominent guy anymore. I haven't been in many, many years.
You're a nobody now, but when you need to praise yourself, you're not going to be nobody. Got it.
I want nothing to do with this documentary, this podcast.
I'm still not to do what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm not doing this thing that's happening right now.
Right? So it's funny because now this documentary just came out about me again. People are like, are you gonna react to it? No, I promised you guys.
Not right now.
Right?
A couple years from now, sure.
That you guys don't want me to jump back down that rabbit hole because all that's going to happen is going to bring more drama, more nonsense, more negativity, more toxicity.
There's I watched the documentary that he's talking about. It was more or less just fine. A lot of it was review for me, a lot of stuff I already knew. There is a couple of inaccuracies in the video, and weirdly enough, all the inaccuracies do better to paint DSP in a better light, which I would think he would appreciate. But I don't know, he's not going to watch it. The one that really stuck out for me was when they were talking about Jaha, they called it the shakedown. And contextually, in the video, it made it seem like just Jaha came out of nowhere and tried to rob Phil. When no, the context was that DSP did not make good on his promise to pay up like he said he would. And so that's why he had to go and remind him, hey, you owe some money, dude. So DSP would have loved that.
Oh yeah, see, this video gets it right. See, here's what actually happened. I was there like just hanging out in the parking lot, thinking about donating food and money to the homeless, and like Jaha came in and just started hitting me with a baseball bat. And it was a bunch of bullshit. And I like tried to parry it. And then like I told him I was an alcoholic, and he like reformed himself. And now he's like halfway decent. And by the way, Jaha fucking sucks, dude.
And it's going to derail us from the stuff we love doing. Instead of sitting here and playing games and enjoying what we're doing and having a good time together, it's going to be constant.
How did you know he doesn't have content?
This is bringing up, this is bringing up, right?
What are you talking about? I don't watch his stuff. I don't know.
Doing that, right? And listen, I get it. Drama can be fun, correct? It can be. Every once in a while, you want to razz someone, you want to make a joke.
But it can only be done to other people, right, Phil?
I don't mind the fact that people bring up the name DSP or Darkside Phil in a razzing way all the time.
You get upset about it every time.
Something stupid that I did.
You get annoyed by it every time.
All of that doesn't matter.
You get annoyed if you just get mentioned at all.
My content, I get to keep making what I love.
Okay, that's not true. That's not true.
But where it becomes hurtful is when someone's entire agenda is to basically tear someone down for personal gain, right? Obsessed to the level of obsession, correct? That's where it gets dangerous. And there are people out there who are absolutely obsessed.
Yeah, for real, or Darkseid. Raz is old, man.
They could get something more out of it if they were to keep bugging me.
One of these days, he's going to come on stream and say he's feeling pretty copacetic.
Whether it's attention, whether, again, get me to name drop them and or say something. So now they have another topic to talk about.
How you guys doing? I'm feeling pretty groovy.
So there you go.
Pretty mellow. Feeling copacetic.
So, with all that being said.
You should say Moto Surf more.
That's why. If you're wondering, well, I don't get it. Phil is really missing out on an opportunity right now.
I don't get it. Why wouldn't Phil not be stupid?
You make tons of views and money. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not about making the views and the money. I'm about enjoying the content I'm putting out.
That's not true.
It's the busiest gaming time of the year. Why do I care about people making drama content now? Why would I ever? Right?
I don't know. You're making a video about it right now.
right? And we have some time to kill, you know, maybe it's worth a look. That's not what we're doing right now. You know, we're in the midst of the busy.
I don't care, even though I've pretty thoroughly established that I really care.
To drop everything to start talking about bullshit.
I'm not drop everything and talk about bullshit, as I've dropped shit, dropped everything and talked about bullshit right now.
Let me put it this way, because here's the thing.
I think DSP would be stabbing a dude and say, dude, I'm not killing this guy. What are you saying?
Publicly, you can assume there's 10 times more than that going on behind the scenes.
How's it going, brand dude? Howdy.
And that goes for literally everything I say.
It is the dude.
I'm serious.
The brand dude.
I'm not exaggerating. Every time I mention, oh, here's one little thing that happened, there's probably 10 times more going on behind the scenes that I'm not bringing up. So what do you guys know about? Well, you know there's a documentary. You know there's people trying to pull me into shows and stuff to try to get attention for themselves. For those public things you know about, there's about 10 times more going on behind the scenes of people trying to get my attention, trying to get me to interact with them, trying to get something out of me. It's happening constantly. All right? From every
I don't know if that's true.
I get bombarded on a daily basis by fucking people trying to pull me into shit. I wish that was a lie or an exaggeration.
Well, DSP, you exaggerate about everything, so I'm inclined to think that's an exaggeration.
That it takes a lot of effort when you constantly are being bombarded by people from every direction. And the funny part is, some people are really nice. Oh, well, we're gonna be nice to you.
Literally, she said everything's copacetic here. Part 2 of the show. Oh my god.
Some people are outright nasty. If you don't
this
do this,
boomer.
we're gonna do this to you, and if you don't do this, we're gonna threaten you with this and that. It's just crazy.
Are you just sick of? Yeah, I am. I'm done with Mario, man. That is so boring. And I'm already feeling really tired today. I'm sure I'd fall asleep watching that shit.
I don't involve myself in any of it. Have you seen me involved in any of that shit? No.
DSP is, if I want to use this metaphor, he's driving along the road, right? He's driving along and he cuts across 3 lanes of traffic and there's a humongous collision that occurs behind him. 13 people are killed, 52 are injured. 1 person's missing. I don't know how that happened. He must have launched through the windshield. And DSP is of the mindset of, well, I stayed out of that. I didn't contribute to that. I didn't create this. I'm not part of that car wreck. Well, DSP often creates the very drama that he wants to pretend that he's not a part of, because it happens in his wake. He talks shit about someone, moves on. That person says, hey, DSP, you talk shit about me. That wasn't right. Whoa, dude. I'm not getting involved in your drama. I'm not part of this. Refer to Gamer J. Lee. Talks shit about Gamer J. Lee. Says that he was a dumbass kid. All this and this and this. Gamer J. Lee comes out and says, hey, man, none of that's true. DSP got confused. What's this dude? Why is he bringing me into this drama? You started it. You started it, DSP. People don't just come out of nowhere attacking you, DSP. As much as you want to pretend that's a thing, that's never really been the case with you, DSP. You almost always consistently start it. And he doesn't get that so many more people have been bigger people than he realizes. For every person who was, Evil AJ or any other person that said, you know what, DSP, I'm sick of your shit, I'm responding. There's been so many more who just let it go. And weirdly enough, those ones that let it go were the good people that just left. But DSP wants to assume that they're all like that. They're all just bringing me into their drama.
Because I refuse to.
He claims he is nobody. However, people are trying to get him to talk to him so they can be popular. Yeah, why would you want to be popular with the nobody? That doesn't really make sense.
Right now, to be just like these other fucking people, and I could easily tear them down, just like they try to tear me down constantly.
I don't think you could do it easily, DSP. I don't think you could do it easily.
That's not who I am. I wouldn't be happy being that kind of person for YouTube because I'm just.
Exit out. Yeah, this shit's messed up, man. None of that's true.
At one point, I'll be honest, when I was younger and more immature, I did find pleasure in that. I did.
You still find pleasure in it.
You could feel good about yourself by tearing down others around.
You still do that. You shit on people all the time. You're like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know how life works, and I got your money, so thank you, idiot.
More popular than you.
Yeah, you don't do that.
Find a way to tear them down and cause them misery. You feel a level of enjoyment out of it.
You do that. You do that with the people in your chat. They say something you don't like, and you revel in banning them. But that doesn't happen.
I've had that feeling before, but as I grow older and I get more mature, I don't want to do that.
No, I don't know about all that, sir.
Everyone can live and let live, and everyone can live and get by.
Exactly, Ramen. DSP just can't keep his mouth shut about shit.
Going around, there's enough people on this planet. There's enough space on YouTube for everyone to coexist, and then I have to constantly be at each other's throats to get over. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be that kind of person. So that's why I stay out of this shit. I want nothing to do with it.
I stay out of this shit that I caused.
I want absolutely no involvement in any of their shit. I just want to be left.
I don't want any involvement of them holding me accountable for the things I did. I don't want any part of that. I agree, DSP. That's the way life should work. Hey, you know what? I robbed this store, right? I just stole a bunch of stuff, waved my gun around, and suddenly the police are like on my ass. I don't know what they're about. I don't want to be involved in that shit.
10 years of ridicule. All of that makes sense. 10 years of failure?
What?
How is that a failure?
Why am I being held accountable?
Today than I've ever been. I make content that I want to make. I stay out of drama because I don't want to hurt people. Right?
That's not true
How is
either,
that
DSP.
failure?
You love hurting people.
I don't know how anyone could justify that and say it's failure. My business is still working and running.
Yeah, because you contextualize it like that, it doesn't sound like failure, but that's not what's happening,
So how is that
DSP.
failure, right? But if you're someone who's desperate for content,
Bill
and you
wanted some good and
constantly
sympathy. He could announce he will have a booth
rip
at a
other
convention.
people
The
apart
unhinged
and
stuff
have that
detractors would
content,
do would give him
I
a
would
lot of
argue
goodwill
that's
with the
more of a
dents.
failure
Probably.
than anything else.
Yeah,
The
he's
more
a
you can do,
he's a
rip
bummy
people
ass
apart,
messiah.
make a dollar,
He's a bummy
you're a
ass
bigger failure
pariah.
than someone
He doesn't even
who's
try
smaller
and
than you,
utilize
who
it
loves what they
well.
do and
He's a
doesn't hurt anyone.
failure in every regard.
That's my take, and you can disagree with that.
It's
And
sad.
that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean?
Doesn't DSP expect people to send him an apology
and
email
by
and
the
make a
way,
band?
some
Yes,
people say,
and not
I'm
only an
doing
apology
all-
email,
doing
he's
documentary.
told people
Actually,
they have to
I'm not.
apologize
I'm not even
on
speaking
the
about
stream
them.
in front of
I'm saying
everyone.
all these people out
He has to
there
get in front of the
say
class and tell everyone in the class that he's sorry.
and all that. I'm not a failure. I'm happy with who I am. That's a success in life. I used to be depressed when I was bigger on YouTube. I was a depressed mess. I was drinking.
He needs
I
to have
was
the last say on
unhealthy,
things always.
I
Yes,
hated myself,
he says the
and I
last
was doing
thing and then he
it by
bans you.
pumping out millions of videos a day. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe
Or
not millions, but
either
you know what I'm
direction. It
saying?
works just
That
fine
was
either
a
way.
miserable existence. Today I'm happy. So that's not being a failure, right? Nothing is falling apart. The sky's not falling, and we're having a good time. So
But okay, so I can kind of see where he's going with this, and that it's important how you feel about yourself. It's true. It's true. I have this happen every once in a while with the kids at work. They'll say stuff like, "Well, have you won any competitions with your model kits that you built?" No, because that's not success to me. I just want to build them. I want to have fun with them. Or whenever I bring up that I have a YouTube channel, they always say stuff like, "Well, how many views do you got?" I'm like, that doesn't matter to me. And they say, "Oh, so you don't have that many?" I was like, "Okay, well, I mean, compared to who, you know?" But I tell them that that's not what makes me happy. What makes me happy is what I make. DSP is trying to use that same... No, you're fine. DSP is trying to use that same system here, but the problem is that DSP is a business, and a business has a different system of gauging what's successful or not. So, no, you can't be operating a business and say, well, success for me isn't making a profit. Well, it kind of should be, quite frankly.
how can you say that that's a failure? It's just it's misinformation.
Watching Turkey Tom and I realized just how deranged.
And it's
Yeah, I need to watch more stuff on
So I'm
Flex.
not
Flex
surprised.
was always been a
You know,
very
I'm not
mysterious
surprised.
figure to me. I never really looked that much into him. I
I'm
just
not gonna
heard all
feel
the
like
negative
I'm gonna
detractor
report
stuff
you.
about him.
You're not going to see me
I
react.
need to have him on my show.
No,
Give him
I
a
don't
chance to
care
air his
that every day
grievances.
there's people trying to pull me in. They're going to be talking about you on this show. They're
I
going to
built Gundam models
that
that
I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter what they say. It's all white
I said he
noise.
could do a drama stream
It's
on
just
RTU and
the
viewers would
same
come out in
shit
droves.
that I've heard for the last
Boosting
10
apology.
years
All
of people trying
that
to pull me into their
Meth,
drama
I don't know what
focus,
you're talking about.
and
You
I
never
told
said
you
that,
back
but yeah, I
then,
remember
I
him
learned
saying
my
that.
lesson. I've stayed out of all of that shit, and we've had a good year.
I
this
don't
year.
think you
Let's stay
well,
on that track, okay?
I have a hard time with voices. I don't think you sound like him, Brand, dude.
Okay, so that's why why I still bring this up today, because look what's going on.
I felt like he was a little bit whinier, or a little bit more nasally. I don't know.
I have nothing to say.
It's kind of weird that he
Watch it.
completely
Don't
disappeared,
fight
though.
for it. You know what I mean? Again, I'm not slamming it. I haven't seen it. You can't slam something that you haven't seen. I've learned my lesson in that regard.
That's not true. DSP has slammed almost consistently stuff that he has. This dude didn't even really watch XQC shit, and that didn't stop him for a second. And that goes to a reoccurring theme with DSP, and this particularly points it out, is that he always thinks that his evolution is complete. And by that I mean, whenever he says, I've changed, what that means is that I am not the same person I was yesterday, so you cannot criticize me for what I've done yesterday onward. You can't. I'm a new person. And then the next day, hey, I'm a new person. You can't criticize me for all this stuff. He's always a new person. His evolution is always complete. And if you try and address things that he does, dude, that was like 1,000,000 years ago, man. It was 1,000,000 years ago when I said that thing I said yesterday. It's very annoying because what happens with that is that he truly doesn't think that an evolution is a continuing process. He mentioned earlier, like I watch my old stuff and I feel cringy and embarrassed when I look at my old stuff. Why don't you work on yourself now so that in the future you won't look back on right now, Phil, and see embarrassment? He doesn't think of it that way. He's already done evolving at any given day.
And when I finally played, I was like, I get it. Well, that was really stupid that I slammed it. I used to make fun of the down the rabbit hole.
Well, don't worry, Brand, dude. I'm told I sound like Agent Proper, though I think he sounds way more handsome than me.
You could tell the
But
information in it.
we've never been in the same room at the same
It wasn't
time
ill
together,
intentioned at
though.
all. And I have no
Weird,
ill
huh?
will towards Frederick Knudsen because I actually feel like he was trying to do a legit documentary about me at that time, you know?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe Brand Dude is like
I don't want to get
he's
toxic
Fred
by
Fucks
trying
in a
to stay
fugue
away.
state.
So I hope that people understand that.
He's redemption
Not
fucks.
he understands that. It's not a
Maybe.
slight against him that I don't want to watch his documentary. I promised my audience that this year I would stay out of the drama shit, and I am going to stick to that commitment.
That
I'm
has
going to
not been
back up all of a
fulfilled.
sudden because there's a chance for personal gain. Okay. So,
Fred Fuchs, there you go.
Thank you for understanding. And again, you know, there's other stuff going on right now. People trying to pull me into their toxic shit, and I'm absolutely
banning them.
positively not going to pay attention to it.
Banning them.
I really don't give two shits what's said. I don't give a fuck.
Quit
I'm gonna
fuck.
say as clearly as possible to the entire internet right now. I don't care.
Maybe the real Fred
You can say
Fucks is
whatever
the
you want
friends
about
we
me.
made along the
You can say
way.
As much nonsense you can bring it all up. It's this simple. I'm happy with where I am in my life right now. Everything, you know, is good. So I'm not going to allow anyone to try to sour that for me and my audience with their own bullshit and nonsense. It doesn't matter who you're talking to, what you're saying about me. None of it matters. It's all
Yeah, this has been
nonsense.
lots of shits, Brand Dude.
That simple. All right. So don't come to my streams bringing it up. Don't try to derail this shit. You know what I'm saying? If I see it, it's gone. That's always been the rule. But you know, recently I've been lax because I understand we get new people coming in all the time, and they don't know what's going on. So they say, "Hey Phil, do you know someone made a documentary about you? Do you know this and that?" You know, I'm not gonna say, "Well, let's just start outright banning every single person in the chat who fucking brings that up." I don't want to do that because there's people who don't know that. But at the same time,
But you
it's
do
always
that,
been
DSP.
a rule. that I
DSP
don't
goes on regular sock purges,
talk
tossing
about
out
shit.
dozens
So
of people at a
believe me,
time. What are you
I've
talking
got
about?
stuff to do.
Well, dude, that was a million years
I got
ago.
a React show. I basically got to get back on track after being derailed because I was sick. I got shit to do. I don't have time for all the other nonsense of everyone else around me. They could do whatever they want. I can't stop them. I don't really care. But you know, they're looking for their you know, their stupid blip, their stupid blurb. The next thing they could talk about that Phil mentioned. You're not getting it. I don't care. You know,
But we're
I'm
getting
saying
it
now,
right.
I don't even want to hear about any of it.
Snort Hogan
I
got it.
literally don't
I'm
wanna
getting
hear
it
about
right
I
now.
don't care.
So we definitely got something.
People are, they don't exist to me.
No one's going to get content out of me as I'm on hour
Alright?
2
So thank
and
you
45
for
minutes.
understanding. Thanks for listening.
That's a lot of
Listening.
not content
Alright,
I'm
so let me
getting.
Get off my chest here today, and now we can move on positively and not have to focus on nonsense that people are constantly trying to pull me into. I'm just done with it, and you know, don't want to hear it. Sticking to my guns, sticking to what I promised and committed to you earlier this year. Because people already, well, I can't believe Phil's not going to address this and that. No, you can't believe it. Then you're deaf. I've been telling you.
I
all
was
year
just
done
thinking of
with
that
it,
last
right?
night that Brand Dude sounded like
So
Fred
that's
Fox.
why.
You always
And by the
thought
way,
you
this
saw,
shirt is
and
not
always
suiting
thought
me.
you sounded like
Maybe
a.
I have
Damn it.
Maybe I have that.
Maybe there's some sort of
What's that
convergent
thing
evolution.
where you get like bothered when things aren't even. If something's like asymmetrical, it bothers you. Like my shirt collar is legit bothering me. I was looking at it. I'm like, why
DSP
is
feels
it
bothered by
one
asymmetry.
side
Is that why he's always
different
picking at his
than the
head?
other? It's actually driving me nuts. That's weird.
Love you too.
Why is it doing that? I don't know.
That's
Anyway,
why
OCD,
he's always
so
picking at
it's
his head.
probably OCD.
He's angered by
I
the
don't know.
asymmetry
It's
of
weird
it.
because I'm totally not like that. Like right now, I have wires all over my floors that are completely unorganized and just messy. So that it's definitely not a thing. But then I look at myself on camera and I'm like, why is that bothering me?
Why does
I
that
don't know.
ghoul bother me?
Maybe because you're actively dying, DSP.
Is that true?
Apparently my skin is falling off
So
on
we're gonna
stream.
move on to
I
the
wonder
next
if that's
segment of the
something
show,
critical.
but I have to blow my nose. All right. So if you can bear with me for a second,
And Theo and Proper when they merge.
I'm gonna blow my nose. But before I do,
We did a
this segment,
Saiyan
all right?
fusion.
No drama anymore.
It's Saiyan
You know,
fusion.
as it has been all this year.
I'm surprised they didn't anger more people. That's just wrong. That's not Dragon Ball Z at all. But remember, DSP was a Dragon Ball Z fan. That's why the Saiyans had fusion.
People threatening me and saying stuff. I literally sit here and all I do is play video games and enjoy relaxing.
Who threatens you, DSP? Threatens you with
What am I doing
consequences?
to
Oh, no,
warrant
that's not
threats
good.
against me, exactly. What have I, right? What have I done? Who am I really a threat to that you're threatening me, right? Are you really that threatened by my existence? Just think about how crazy that is.
What? Whoa, 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 whoa. Where did? How did we?
Nobody on the internet.
How did we get to this point?
What am I doing to warrant threats against me? Exactly. What have I, right? What have I done? Who am I really a threat to that you're threatening me, right?
Okay,
Are
okay.
you really that threatened by
I
my
was a
existence?
little
Just
confused
think
by
about how
that
crazy
sequence.
I am just a little Joe Nobody on the internet.
Yeah, he's talking about Keemstar.
Stream
I'm gonna talk to people. That's a threat.
1,000 people watch my videos on YouTube every day, right? Very small time, correct? But I'm happy with who I am. There are people out there that I live rent-free in their heads.
Who's
and
that?
They have to constantly bring me up and try to pull me into their drama. What is that about exactly? That really drives me nuts. How?
Because DSP is fascinating. That's my reason. If I have to give a reason why I like watching DSP so much, is because he's a living science anomaly. DSP shouldn't exist. There's no reason how this could have gotten to this point. But it has. So why wouldn't I want to watch this? Why wouldn't you want to watch a train that crashes into the same wall over and over again, explodes, and then somehow reforms and blames the wall for crashing? Why wouldn't you want to watch that?
But DSP seems confused by this. Why would you want to watch an abject failure cry and whine on the internet and make an ass of himself every 10 minutes? Who wouldn't?
How exactly does that? I just don't understand it. What? How am I involved in any of it? How am I?
Right, Emek. That's rent-free as hell.
It just, I just don't get it. I really don't. Right? That someone would actively like threaten.
Just see her and play video games and talk shit about people. I just ban people and yell at people and threaten people. I mean, I didn't threaten anybody.
What? For what reason? Exactly. What have I done? What could I possibly do to you that you're making public threats against me? I'm a no one. You know, it doesn't make any sense. It's like it's to the level of obsession, unhealthy.
Why are you people calling DBZ Goku show? I call it the Goku show because everyone else seems pretty irrelevant in the show. When has Vegeta ever really done anything? And I'm not saying that because I hate Vegeta. I actually love Vegeta, and I'm saying that. Vegeta is so shit. He's hated by his author.
I'm like yesterday's topic. You know what I'm saying?
That bums me
I'm
out.
not a prominent dude.
It's kind of why I stopped watching it. I just couldn't keep watching Goku do stuff. I wanted to see other characters do something. Never happened.
Him doing documentaries on other topics is going to be way more popular than anything covering me. I'm no one, man. Nobody cares.
I'm nobody. Please don't make content about me. Come on. I'm nobody. Leave me alone. Look into your heart.
Understand who I am and where I come from, and they just want to relax with me, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, Game Master. I meant it more like in the sense that when has he been, you know, the guy, you know?
The way that people talk about me,
and it's just not fair. Other people should be allowed to be the guy occasionally. Come on.
Toxic dude who every day on stream, all I'm doing is constantly causing drama and insulting people and saying inflammatory things and fucking.
But that is you, DSP.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
Okay,
you know?
Never mind. It's all wrong.
Every day's fun. It's fun gameplay, being
this
silly,
poor dude
razzing,
crying.
Had fun yelling at the netcode of Modern Warfare 3. You know what I mean? Today we'll have fun laughing at clips from the internet. It's a good time. It's not anything ill-intentioned or anything that you would think would get anyone upset. But these people get upset. I don't know why.
Who's upset, DSP? I've never been upset. Is that the guy? Yeah, it's him. I'm watching his cope. That's kind of, I think, the Jaha rant. Because essentially that's how he tried to diffuse the situation with Jaha is, hey, I'm too pathetic to engage. You can't be mad at me for being stupid. I'm too pathetic to be mad at. No, that's not how it works, DSP. You're never too pathetic to be mad at, all right? Because after a while, that stops being an excuse. Actually, it never is an excuse. That's shit. He is no one when it is convenient for him, but then you'll... Yes, exactly. He is a no one when people are looking to criticize him, but as soon as he wants to have credibility, dude... I basically invented YouTube, and I invented content creation, and I invented reacting to content. But I'm nobody, man. Please don't hold me accountable for my actions, man. I didn't do nothing, man. I'm too pathetic. I wonder if you could argue that in court. Judge, I can't really be accused of being a murderer, because I'm kind of nobody, right? I agree. Yeah, he inspired review, bro. That was a pretty quick backpedal on that one. That was funny, though. That has a point. But, yeah, I heard about the downward climb is what he said recently, which is DSP is really artistic with his words, and he's very creative. I think that's gonna be it for me tonight. Like I said, I'm not gonna watch his. Well, let's see. Let's just see what he's doing right now.
Hooray! Huzzah!
All right, fantastic. I don't need to see anything more than that. I will probably be streaming tomorrow. I don't see why I wouldn't, because I want to see his Call of Duty streams, because those are always fun, watching him flip out and blame the game. It's not his fault, of course. And I do need to watch his recent rants about Call of Duty. So, I mean, again, he can't buy indie games. He can't buy indie games. He could have bought, what, 10 or so indie games for the amount of money that he spent on Call of Duty? And he would hate them just as much, but at least he could get a diversity of content. But that's too crazy. Only rich and successful people can make good decisions. It's not quite the argument you want to make there, dude. But anyway, that's it for me tonight. Thank you everyone for joining me as we caught up with the suggestion box. I'm looking forward to some other ones. And that being said, did a good job of highlighting it on Twitter, but DSP really didn't even cover any of the big questions that people were asking. He cherry picks, of course. He cherry picks questions he wants to read. Whether it be something that's something very small that he could address or something that he could just completely dismiss. He's not going to address something that actually has merit and will require him to do work. That shit's gone. So,
Oh, certainly, Intelligent Counterpill. Happy to have you. Happy to have everyone. I hope you all have a great night, and whoever is streaming this, how do I transfer people? I need to figure out how to do that, but not tonight. Anyway, have a great night, everyone. Take care, and have a meaningful, robust, chill day where you're not part of any content or any toxicity.